Mpaka uniambie mbona umekuja huku?
Never, ever ask me that question again, okay?
Please. No. You parked and left us. I mean, who does that? Your own kids.
I left you a rich dad.
Really?
Just pack up and leave.
And you're?
I am like your father, and you can learn a lot from me.
I haven't learned a lot from my own father.
Please leave my son's office before I call security on you.
There's one department I've not met. By all means, please do. Call them.
I just need your help speaking to my children.
Oh, the mighty Kathy can beg.
Please.
Karen, open the door, please.
They will fight for their love until the end.
Top of the morning to you all and welcome to the program. This is Good Morning Kenya. I am Jenwa Boy. We are glad you have chosen to start your day with us here on Good Morning Kenya. It is the 14th day of April 2022, a day that so many people have been looking forward to, especially if you are a car owner. This is a day that is going to sort of set the precedence for the next month when it comes to fuel and of course the price and of course this quote-unquote artificial crisis that we have been seeing in the country. But nonetheless, we'll be giving you the latest updates in regards to that once we get to the GMK news brief. But in the meantime, the whole crew is here to Kotari to get this boat rolling. And today, Mike has joined us from the beginning. Ataingia ka superstar po hivyo, see the way VIPs always come in, show ikienda kuisha. Hi, Mike.
Hello, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us on Good Morning Kenya. Like you've just heard, there's a lot of big news in terms of, the car owners. I hope it's good news. I really hope it's good news because it's been a difficult week. Trying to get some fuel, you just find, banners everywhere telling you there's no fuel here. So we expect to hear some good news, Doreen.
As you talk about big day for car owners with that announcement from EPRA, we also expect a pressure from the CS Energy. So clearly, let's just believe that things are going to turn in the right direction, given the fact that this is actually the third week where, as Kenyans, you're experiencing fuel shortage. But even if that is happening, it's still a big day in the political scene, a big day for the UDA party, or better still the Kenya Kwanza coalition, given the fact that they are holding their nominations today. It was marked with a bit of chaos yesterday, but as some of the aspirants were saying, and even the chairman of the NEB, he said that they should expect free, fair and transparent nominations. So clearly that is also part of what we'll be unpacking for you the better part of today, given the fact that they mentioned that they're going to be doing this in a single day. So today is the D-Day for that party. But we are still here, still a lot lined up for you this Thursday morning. It is Matters Entertainment all the way. So stick up until the end of the show. Many thanks for making time. I'm Doreen Arange Okelo. Ray.
Indeed, we have so much lined up for you. Other than Matters Entertainment, we're going to be keeping tabs on what is happening in UDA. They're going to be conducting their party primaries in several locations where we have reporters stationed. Just namely, we have our people in Meru, Embu, Uasin Gishu, Baringo, Kiambu, Kericho, Nandi, and Bomet to just bring us, information and details as it unfolds. Yesterday evening, some chaos was reported in Embu. We have an update on that where Ben Troy is covering that. We'll want to know what transpired in the evening and has it affected the exercise that is expected to kick off today. Other than Matters Politics, it is April 14th. Yes, your guess is as good as mine, and we're talking about the EPRA, or rather the Government Fuel Price Review. Now, yesterday in Parliament, the presentation was made, or rather a report was made in Parliament that government still owes the companies, oil companies, a cool 14.52 billion shillings, of which 6 billion shillings is pending for the refund in subsidies for the February-March cycle, while 8.5 billion is the entire amount for the April-March cycle, which ends today. And as it ends today, long queues have been witnessed for the last 2 weeks or so. Some fueling stations even going above board and, fuel and rationing fuel. We've been talking about water rationing, electricity rationing. Now we're here. We're talking about fuel rationing. Now, an insider, yes, and mark this, we're yet to find out if this is true. An insider opines that, if the industry, or rather the fuel, is not subsidized, the price of super petrol could go high to highs of up until 157 shillings per litre of super petrol. That's a cool 40 bob on top of the current price, at least in Nairobi. We wait to see what is going to happen, as reports indicate that one of the oil marketers, the CEO, has been deported as government cracks down on oil marketers that are withholding the commodity from the local market, and also are going to even reduce storage capacities for those outlets, or rather oil marketers that have been opting to export this commodity instead of having, or rather furnishing their local distributors with the same. That and so much more will be coming up as we focus on those stories that have been making headlines in the last 24 hours, and we welcome your feedback. Our Twitter handle is at KBC Channel 1, and I'm Regina Manyara. Good morning once again. Well, before we bring you up to speed with what is happening in as far as the UDA nominations are concerned that are kicking off this morning, is that President Uhuru Kenyatta has challenged the leadership of counties to emulate the Kenya Defence Forces, which has demonstrated unmatched development attributed to hard work, discipline and dedication. Speaking during the commissioning of the Ulinzi Sports Complex Lang'ata, the President said the complex is a clear testimony of what resources in this country can do if put to proper use.
President Uhuru Kenyatta commended the Kenya Defence Forces for the work done on the Ulinzi Sports Complex in a span of 16 months, demonstrating unmatched development. Speaking during the commissioning of the complex, the head of state said over the years counties have been allocated resources and have the workforce to initiate major projects, but selfish interests have been the norm.
Yastahili pia viongozi katika sehemu mbali haswa viongozi wa kaunti zetu, pesa munazo, watu wa kufanya kazi munao, jameni, uunganisha mambo hayo mawili, pesa na utendakazi. Sio pesa na tumbo, pesa na utendakazi. Na Kenya hii yaweza kufaulu kushinda viwango ambavyo dunia itashangaa.
The head of state hailed the construction of the world-class sporting complex that he said is a pride of this nation. The 7,500-seater complex will have a football pitch, athletics track, swimming pool, basketball, netball and boxing arenas.
This complex Your Excellency, we realize the long-cherished dream of broadening KDF sporting disciplines towards solidification of KDF sporting preeminence amongst regional and international sportsmen and women. For example, Your Excellency, we used to have one of the best hockey teams within the KDF, and we intend to bring it back, including rugby.
Sporting commands self-sacrifice, discipline, as well as determination to be a winner. It is an extra effort that separates the winner from the second place, hence the power of sports to change the world, the power to inspire and to unite. Indeed, this facility is a platform that will promote sports tournaments and opportunities to engage and interact with various actors in the sports industry.
The facility, which hosted an exhibition match between Ulinzi and Tusker, will also host the KDF Athletics Championship next week.
Now, still looking and focusing on matters politics, is that the High Court has nullified a requirement that members of Parliament must have a university degree. Justice Anthony Mrima termed the requirement unconstitutional as there was no adequate public participation. He was ruling on a petition by voters Paul Macharia Wamboi, Joseph Karanja Mushai and David Kimani Njenga. The ruling that comes in the wake of the ongoing political parties' primaries offers a big relief to political aspirants who do not have that academic qualification. Development, we're going to be looking at how it actually affects our political scene. Now, still keeping up with matters politics is that Orange Democratic Movement Party gubernatorial aspirant for Siaya County, George Mbaya, on Wednesday suffered a big blow after learning that he was not among those configured to contest in the voting machines. Mbaya accused the party of keeping him and his supporters in the dark on the party primaries.
Who was to contest in the nominations with Siaya Senator James Orengo for ODM Siaya County gubernatorial ticket left Gombe Komolo Primary School in North Alego Ward a dejected man. This is after learning that his name was not configured in the nomination machines. Mbaya is now accusing the party of taking him and his supporters for a ride, as no party official had communicated to him that the position for which he applied and paid nomination fees will not be contested.
I surprised, the kit was working, it was open, my details are available, but I was informed that the gubernatorial position is not available on the gadget, as well as the Senate. It is surprising and shocking that even as of yesterday, the ODM party was still categorical that nominations are still going to be carried out.
Voting kicked off in other parts of Siaya County with a number of contestants exuding confidence that the will of the members will prevail.
I want to urge my people that there are a few technical challenges, but they are being resolved. They will be resolved, and I'm optimistic that at the end of the day, the will of the people of Lagos Songa is going to be demonstrated in this ballot.
South constituency.
Meanwhile, Jubilee Party has resolved to issue direct tickets to candidates in areas where there is only one aspirant.
As we issue the certificates this evening to those who are with us today, it is also good to know that from tomorrow, the certificates will continue being issued from across the country, from our various branches. We will continue issuing others from here. We are also encouraging those who have not yet gotten to consensus to continue on that route. We said it before, I want to repeat again, that negotiated democracy has become part of our way of managing our political affairs.
Lakini pia niwape imani kwamba wale wengine ambao labda wamepingwa na wengine hapa na pale, kuna yale mazungumzo ambayo inaendelea, na tunajua kwamba hivi karibuni wote tutakuwa na maafikiano hivi kwamba tutakuwa na wale ambao watapeperusha bendera yetu ifikapo tarehe 22 kama ilivyowekwa katika sheria zetu.
The party Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni also affirmed the party's support for the Azimio One Kenya coalition, warning their aspirants against supporting rival political outfits.
We belong to the Azimio coalition. We do not want any of our candidates campaigning for any other formation other than Azimio. If we get the information that you are doing it, you are campaigning for other formations other than Azimio, we will recall the certificate.
Elsewhere, the Wiper Party has conducted its ward nominations in some areas of Mombasa County, whilst promising its members the exercise will be free and fair. Mombasa branch chairman Sheikh Twaha said the exercise started at 10 a.m. 4 hours late to allow members who did not have their membership card to vote using the IDs and voters card.
Mombasa County tulikuwa na Mbogo ambaye ndio alikuwa kama candidate wetu wa governor, na hakupewa direct ticket, bali kwa vile alikuwa ni yeye akapewa interim ticket ako nayo. So kupewa interim ticket haina maana wewe ndio usha qualify ama ushapewa certificate. Kuweza tokea anything kwa chama.
Aspirants under the Wiper Party have called on politicians to desist from utterances that may cause chaos.
Tuwekeni amani, kwa sababu tumeona hii michujo ambayo imeanza tayari kuna hali ya sitofahamu ambazo zimeanza, hali ya rapture, hali ya kutumia vijana kwa vibaya, na nadhani hiyo si demokrasia. Kubali kama wewe umeshindwa.
The exercise took place simultaneously in areas of Old Town in Mombasa, Chuda in Kisauni, Changamwe in Changamwe constituency, and Bofu in Likoni constituency.
This politics, now drama erupted in Embu town as youth confiscated a lorry transporting ballot boxes for the United Democratic Alliance nominations and burnt the materials. The rowdy youth alleged that one of the gubernatorial aspirants was planning to rig the nominations set for today. UDA National Elections Board Chairperson Anthony Moura, however, assured aspirants of a free and fair process in all the 36 counties where nominations will be conducted.
Normalcy was interrupted at Embu town when rowdy youths impounded a vehicle transporting UDA nomination materials and destroyed materials they perceived were to be used to rig the nominations. A tough contest has ensued between nominated MP Cecily Mbarire and Manyata MP John Mushiri for UDA gubernatorial ticket.
We are reliably told that the county returning officer has resigned his position because of the intimidation he is getting from higher offices, whatever higher offices those may be. We have no idea.
Na polisi wachukue hatua kulingana na sheria. Sasa wao ndio wameongoza katika kuchoma hiyo material ya nomination kesho.
In Nakuru, UDA aspirants and supporters took to the streets accusing the incumbents and party officials of scheming to predetermine the nominations. The protesters marched to the party's county offices seeking audience with the branch officials, only to find the premises deserted.
We are here as Gilgil people to protest and reject in total the recruitment process that has been that happened in the party of UDA.
The drama resulted in UDA National Elections Board Chairperson Anthony Moura announcing postponement of the exercise in Nakuru Town West as party prepares for the exercise. 8 million members of the United Democratic Alliance in 36 counties will take to the ballot Thursday to elect candidates who will fly the UDA party flag in the August general elections.
This does not mean that we don't have candidates elsewhere. It is just that we have been conducting other modes of nominations, identifying our candidates through other various methods which this board is mandated to use.
The William Ruto-led party will conduct nominations in 981 electoral seats countrywide. 13 counties will nominate governors, while 18 counties will identify their senatorial candidates. 28 counties will nominate woman representative, and 138 constituencies will nominate candidates for member of National Assembly.
Now, just a sneak peek as to how, UDA, or UDA if you like, is going to be carrying out the party primaries is that the training of clerks and presiding officers commenced this Monday, and the party will be using its own members register as prescribed in the law. The nominations will also be conducted at IEBC's gazetted polling stations. And aspirants also have come out to pledge that they'll maintain peace and during and after the exercise. We have our reporters in the counties of Meru, Embu, Uasin Gishu, Baringo, Kiambu, Kericho, Nandi and Bomet. Remember, these party primaries are going to be conducted in 36 counties. So we have our reporters on ground, and in the course of the day, we're going to be bringing you up to speed with what is happening on ground. Now, Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i has dismissed critics that he is accusing him of targeting government opponents. Dr. Matiang'i, who was addressing chiefs at the National Chiefs Delegates Conference in Nyeri, said he had no apologies for discharging his duties.
Matiang'i said his ministry will continue to carry out its duties despite insults and ridicule directed at it by a section of political players. The CS taking issue with politicians trying to mudsling his name and that of his principal secretary, instead asking them to stick to their lane.
Politics comes and goes. You have seen more than 2 elections, others 3 elections and so on. Wakizungumza speech yao ishe bila kusema Kibicho na Matiang'i ni kama hawatasema kitu. Lazima watafute namna ya kuleta hao watu wawili ndani. Tumekuwa kama manifesto yao.
Speaking at the same event, Interior Principal Secretary Dr. Karanja Kibicho defended his involvement in politics, saying he had a right to participate in civic affairs as a private Kenyan citizen. The chiefs were encouraged to maintain political neutrality while dealing with politicians during the electioneering period and not to shy away from performing their duties.
Of justice, and a story that has taken social media as well as mainstream media by storm is that a 22-year-old man was ordered to pay a fine of 100,000 or serve a 1-year jail term for stealing cooking oil and other assorted goods worth 3,165 shillings. Alvin Shivondo admitted to the charge, but in his defense said he was simply trying to fend for his family after going hungry for days. Meanwhile, 15 suspects accused of stoning Raila Odinga's helicopter were freed due to lack of evidence.
With teary eyes, 22-year-old Alvin Shivondo pleads with the court. Appearing before Milimani Chief Magistrate Wende Mishemi, Shivondo was sentenced to 1 year in jail or pay a fine of 100,000 Kenyan shillings for stealing cooking oil and other assorted goods worth 3,165 Kenyan shillings. On the 10th of April at Naivas Development House Supermarket, he stole some rice, honey, tea leaves, cooking oil and sugar. Shivondo told the court he did it all for his family. Meanwhile, the Employment and Labour Relations Court has issued orders stopping National Social Security Fund and NSSF from recruiting 8 new general managers and others. In a petition filed by the Consumer Federation of Kenya through lawyer Henry Kurauka, the court ruled that the human resource instruments used to recruit the managers were ineffective since they were not approved by the Public Service Commission. The instruments are to be presented to the Public Service Commission within 21 days from the date of judgment. Elsewhere, an Eldoret court has released 15 people accused of stoning Raila Odinga's helicopter due to lack of evidence. 2 of the accused will, however, remain behind bars pending prosecution.
Comes a time when a conversation is raging over the proposed tax measures to be imposed if the Finance Bill 2022 is adopted in its current form. Now, National Assembly Leader of Minority John Mbadi has accused a section of politicians of peddling lies about the proposed tax measures to fund the next fiscal year budget. Now, Mbadi says politicians opposed to the handshake are playing populist politics with the tax proposals in the Finance Bill 2022 that are still being processed.
Days after the United Democratic Alliance Party pledged to rally its troops in Parliament to oppose the Finance Bill 2022, consequently shooting down proposals in the 2022-2023 budget, the leader of minority in the National Assembly, John Mbadi, has faltered the move, claiming those opposed to the bill are being dishonest and are seeking to thrive in populist politics.
From 2013, check any finance bill that has been presented in the House. All of them have proposals or attempts to change the VAT on certain basic commodities, and he has never, ever complained. He has never, ever opposed such proposals. And as a leader of minority, our members in the Finance Committee are already briefed and have instructions that any proposal in the finance bill that is going to affect the prices of any basic commodity would not be accepted.
The Suba South lawmaker says those opposing the finance bill were being behind the passage of previous value-added tax measures through the infamous tyranny of numbers that hiked the price of commodities. According to Mbadi, the Finance Committee will provide solutions to the high cost of living.
We are already seeing with our own eyes that there's going to be a spike in prices of basic commodities. You cannot accept again, as people's representative, to subject Kenyans to more miseries.
The government, however, maintains that the country has enough fuel. Meanwhile, the House is divided over the proposals in the Huduma Bill 2021, saying it risks discriminating Kenyans without IDs and scrap the Immigration Department.
If this Huduma bill will be able to do away with some departments and some people earning salaries, Honorable Speaker, then it will have assisted us in reducing our wage bill, which we are even struggling with, Honorable Speaker.
And I think what this needs to be done is that this bill needs to be withdrawn for its entirety from Parliament. We go back to the drawing board, take this inherent risk, because you see, denying one Kenyan a right of access, or denying one Kenyan to be included, it's like denying the whole world, as far as I'm concerned, Mr. Speaker, because the right of one individual is very, 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 very important.
So nobody needs to feel threatened that with the Huduma number, they will be left out. In fact, we should all be celebrating that with the coming of the Huduma number, every Kenyan would actually be registered.
The Speaker has since directed that all the new amendments be forwarded to the clerk for harmonization and debate when the House resumes from recess in May.
When we come back, we're going to be looking at what was said in Parliament in more detail, given that there are proposals that were presented by Treasury to Parliament in regard to the Finance Bill 2022, where there are proposals to increase 16% VAT on wheat, cassava, flour and maize. On that note, we take a quick break. We'll be right back.
legendary run to Olympia Stadion in Berlin is now less crowded, with only 4 teams out of 64 still in contention. Something more outstanding is that all of the sides to have won the DFB Pokal over the last 29 years are already out this year.
And Leverkusen are knocked out by a Bundesliga 2 side.
In the first DFB Pokal semi-final, Hamburger SV will face Freiburg on Tuesday, the 19th of April 2022 at 9:45 p.m. While in the second semi-final, RB Leipzig will lock horns with Union Berlin on Wednesday, the 20th April 2022 at 9:45 p.m. Having braced the turbulent journey and buoyed up with the trophy in sight, no team want to go down without a fight. You don't want to miss this adventurous football show, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1. KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Najua nilikukosea kukuleta kwa babako bila kutaka kwako.
Badizo yule mwanamke ni sumu. Yule Kate ni sumu ndani ya nyumba, mimi nakwambia.
Siku hizi tabia yako imezidi badala ya kupungua.
Bado kuna uadui mkubwa sana kati yetu ambao unahitaji suluhisho.
Wewe unataka nimwambie nani?
Mpoteze kitoto ambayo ile utakula wewe mwenyewe.
Leo, si ndio wewe ulikuwa unataka nyumba yako ama?
I've drafted the contract. You just need to sign it. Why? I'm an excellent beautician. Why is no one willing to hire me? The worst thing is, some of them are my old friends.
I want to hire her. I'll let her work in Venus again, doing the lowest job so I can insult her.
Give us a minute. I have something to say to Miss Gao.
Dad.
You leave too.
Oh.
Mahaka wako wengi wa kuhaka. Nitakuwa naeleza mahakama wao.
Wewe kwanza hata usinikumbuse. Kakifika sana kwa nyumba si unasemanga, I don't know what to say. Cause everything you do is good.
Ngoja papa what? Papa what? Papa what?
Wewe. Thibitisho wakapiga lile simu na nikalilia kwa mfuko la babuni.
Analudia.
Wewe kaka huko.
Lakini wewe mzee. Papa
koti wewe.
Ananiita.
Uheshimu koti. Ala?
Ananiita namna hiyo. Mimi tulikuwa na wewe nikihaki hiyo kwa hizo Twitter.
Tulikuwa na lakini kulingana na
kwa nini unaeleza mahakama urongo?
Akwa. Nakusamee maana ujui unalotenda.
Wewe ndio ujui.
Uachiliwe uende nyumbani.
Okay.
Good morning. You're still watching In the Headlines right here on KBC Channel 1, and I'm Regina Manyara. Amid public outcry after the just conducted Form 1 placement, Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha has urged parents to be content with the Form 1 placements given to their children, saying the exercise was done in a fair manner. Professor Magoha, who was in Murang'a County to commission competency-based curriculum classrooms, defended the system, saying it will produce an all-round learners.
With 1.2 million students set to report to secondary schools to begin Form 1 from 3rd of May, Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha has asked parents to be satisfied with the schools with the placement.
If you are a middle-level Kenyan who can afford a private school, instead of going to drink whiskey in the high clubs, please take your child to a private school.
Professor Magoha, who spoke at Mochugucha Secondary School in Murang'a County, confirmed the construction of a CBC classrooms countrywide is at 92%.
It is extremely important that as we start to roll out the second phase of this program, all the children are kept at the same level.
And that's why even here in Murang'a, where they're at 90%, they must complete by the 20th of this month.
At the same time, he said the government affirmative fund for children in the informal settlements has brought on board 9,000 beneficiaries who shall be admitted to schools of their choice.
We are very, very proud, and credit goes to His Excellency the President, who directed us to the slums and also directed us to ensure that we had affirmative action for all children in the slums. And I may also end that the President did not stop there. He directed us he provided money for 9,000 students.
In its defense, the government has come out to say that we shall ensure that all Kenyan children have equal, fair and just treatment, including those children in slums and those in far-flung arid and semi-arid areas. Now, this comes again amid public outcry by some of the parents saying that, some of the students have been placed in schools that they did not select. Others have been sent. They studied that, for example, one actually was studying in the coast and they were sent to a day school in Vihiga. Those are some of the anomalies that the parents and guidance are citing in the Form 1 selection. Despite hearing what the CS Education Professor George Magoha has had to say, a majority of parents are not happy with the Form 1 selection, saying that this is actually an affront, especially to those parents who had their children studying in private schools. What is your take in regard to this Form 1 selection? We invite your views. Our Twitter handle is at KBC Channel 1. We end that particular with saying that the Basic Education PS Julius 1 has, however, explained that the mishap might have been occasioned by poor recording of the school codes. Will this be rectified ahead of the resumption of learning in the next few weeks? The guess is as good as mine. We'll be keeping tabs on that. But we welcome your feedback in regard to this matter. What is your take in the Form 1 selection process? Are you a victim? Are you happy? And if you are either of those, why? Now, the constitutional commissions and independent officers are asking for more allocation to enable them discharge their mandate effectively. Chief Justice Martha Koome says despite the shrinking budgets, the independent officers have ensured the service delivery remains at the core of the operations.
Constitutional commissions and independent officers are celebrating their 10th year anniversary with a call on Parliament to allocate them more money. The independent bodies argue that a lot can be achieved with adequate funding and respect for their authority.
Anybody who has an order issued against them to obey and implement that order of the court, it does not impact on us today, it impacts on us even in the future.
Chief Justice Martha Koome said there is need to cure legal challenges which are often brought about by lack of quorum in commissions.
People, we are trying to roll them out. Were it not for finances, we would at least have 100 small claims courts all over the country by now. But because of resources, we only have 11.
Is that we get only funded in the election year, as it happened this particular year, so that all the activities between the last election and last year we don't manage to do anything.
The other issue, of course, is like the judicial fund. If I may speak to the Judicial Service Commission, there's always been an issue of budget deficits, and most of the commissions are being challenged by this.
At the same time, the officers want the streamlining of their reporting procedures to avoid duplication.
Even when the law is clear, but there are institutions that were used to handle certain matters, and letting go is a bit of a problem.
It's important that, for example, those of us here as a cluster could then be meeting those parliamentary committees, because that is where really we can discuss the issues together, so that as we are working together in CCIOs, we can then also present our cases as CCIOs and not, separately as
They have further pledged to continue working in synergies for the benefit of the country.
Now members of the public can get information and report side effects of medicine via a mobile system launched by the Pharmacies and Poisons Board. Mobile Vigilance electronic system is designed to help with reports on use over-the-counter medication, herbal medicines, vaccines, and other health products.
The public is increasingly becoming aware of health-related matters, including disease conditions, disease management, and adverse events following the use of health products and technologies. It is patients and consumers who are able to provide detailed first-hand information about their experiences with medicines and how these medicines have affected their lives. Such experiences include adverse events for both over-the-counter and prescription medicines, herbal medicines, vaccines, and suspected poor quality of health products and technologies, among others. Therefore, systematically capturing such reports for analysis and action, as well as guidance of policy formulation, is critical.
Now, if you have anything to report in regard to medicine that you have bought over the counter, you have a platform that is available to you at a touch of a button. Now to the counties, tension is high in Chepkoinia settlement scheme in Trans Nzoia County after a number of squatters forcefully returned to their land after being evicted. The squatters are accusing the security officers in the area of barring them from settling back to their normal lives after obtaining a court order against their eviction. Details of this from the County News Roundup.
Trans Nzoia County Commissioner Sam Ojwang, who is the county security chairman of unfair administrative procedure in the resettlement process.
Tungeomba Bwana Kibicho, Bwana Matiang'i na wale wote wanahusika na mambo ya security watusaidie kwa kutuondolea state and public officers wale wamenyakua mashamba hapa na wana defend wakitumia government machinery.
Meanwhile, a section of residents in Malindi's Kasorina area have filed a petition at the Environment and Lands Court seeking orders to stop Kilifi County Government and National Environment Management Authority from banning toxic substances at the Mayungu dam site.
It affects hundreds and hundreds of people. Kindly let us note that the toxic fumes from the dam site, because of the winds, can travel as far as even 20 kilometers. So that is affecting almost the whole town.
Elsewhere, over 30 people have been arrested and 12 illegal pharmacies closed down in the counties of Mandera, Wajir and Garissa. The Pharmacy and Poisons Board says it will sustain the war on illegal medicine sale.
We will sustain the pressure until we minimize to a zero level the quackism and people who are selling pharmaceutical products and medical devices that are not registered.
And the government has scaled up the ongoing security operation in Isiolo County to flush out armed herders who forcefully invaded Isiolo grazing lands, prompting conflicts with the latest attack in Burat area, leaving 9 lives lost with 5 people left nursing gunshot wounds.
Hawezi kuua hapa, waende mahali pengine waue, wazunguke wakiua watu na hakuna hatua inachukuliwa. Hiyo ndio tunasema tuna hapa ya kwamba paka hawa washikwe, wasitakiwe kwa mada.
Finally, plans to upgrade Sangalo Institute of Science and Technology in Bungoma County to a national polytechnic are at an advanced stage. Principal Secretary for the State Department of Vocational and Technical Training, Dr. Margaret Mwakima, says the move is aimed at making the institution a center of excellence for agricultural technology.
Plans are at very advanced stage. We actually have done the legal order, which is with the Attorney General, for Sangalo Institute of Science and Technology to become a national contagion.
Crossing to matters business, where the Route to Food initiative says current hunger crisis in the country can only be mitigated by investing in making food accessible, reduce post-harvest losses and food wastage in the country's main food basket areas. Here's Benson Rioba with the details.
In this year's 3.3 trillion shillings budget, agriculture was allocated 47 billion shillings, which is 13 billion shillings less from the budgetary allocations for the current financial year. Players in the agriculture sector are faulting the government for not adhering to the Malabo Declaration that requires signatory countries to allocate at least 10% of their national budgets to agriculture, noting that this would enhance food security and reduce food prices.
The issues with, of course, imports that come from, countries that have been affected by the Russia-Ukraine conflict. It's, that should be awareness enough that we have to invest in our own food. When you're not able to buy food and you have a small farm, you are supposed to take it into your mind very quickly that now it's time for me to start producing my own food. If you can't get potatoes from the market, then it tells you that as a person you need to grow your own potatoes. So
they attribute the current hunger crisis in parts of the country to underfunding of the agriculture sector.
If we don't invest in our food and farming systems, if we don't invest in our agriculture systems, if we don't invest in these areas where producers produce, then we of course are looking at a health burden. And after the health burden, we are looking at an economic burden.
They want the Ministry of Agriculture to allocate large amounts of the budget to strengthening the food systems and accessibility through proper linkages between farmers and consumers.
We wish that we get good infrastructures to ensure that food from farm can reach a consumer as in the state that is fit for consumption.
Last year, Kenya food imports stood at 155.42 billion shillings, with the amount projected to increase this year due to poor rains.
Away from matters agriculture into the corporate scene, where entrepreneurs eyeing the first growing on-demand laundry market can now access financing to venture into the laundromat business. This follows a deal between LG Electronics, Havana Laundromats and Hotpoint that seeks to create jobs for more Kenyans while offering laundry solutions to a growing middle class income class.
With less than 20% of Kenyan homes owning a washing machine or dryer, commercial laundromats, popularly known as dry cleaners, are set to offer investors and clients a smarter, safer way of doing laundry. Besides financing, the deal will offer franchising opportunities for interested entrepreneurs. The laundromat technology is equipped with a digital app that allows operators to manage their businesses off-site in real time and promptly track and resolve technical issues.
We were looking for somebody who would be able to offer franchising and financing solutions to people who would want to open their own laundromat.
In order to open this opportunity to the small and middle-sized the entrepreneurs, they want to enter into in this kind of the business, we want to introduce about this kind of the business scheme, and secondly, we want give the experience to the end customer.
Meanwhile, the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mombasa chapter, has signed an MOU with the Ugandan Consulate to strengthen bilateral ties. Ugandan Consulate General to Kenya, Paul Mukumbia, expressed his optimism that the deal will build trust, access and expertise that will help local business find new resources and opportunities.
This MOU provides a platform for further collaboration between the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce in Mombasa and the Consul General of Uganda. We look forward to a lot more successful events and further collaboration and bringing the business numbers up.
The Agribusiness Symposium and the exhibition that we held last year was made to see how the two countries can better cooperate, one, to enhance trade, but also two, to deal with the bottlenecks, the tariff and non-tariff barriers that were hindering the smooth flow of trade.
Finally, farmers in Migori County risk losing their produce after armyworms invaded their farms, destroying maize, sorghum and millet crops, as well as pasture. The farmers claim their efforts to reach the county officials have not borne fruits as most officers are on political campaigns.
Na hao wadudu wameharibu shamba yote. Sasa hata safari hii hatuna hata haja ya kupalilia kwa sababu hakuna kitu vile mnaweza kuona. Imekula kila kitu, na hapa tukilima vizuri na tuvune vizuri tunapata mahindi kama gunia 50 ama 50 na kitu. Lakini mara hii ni kama tunaenda kutoka bure.
Nalima na mbegu nimenunua na mbolea. Nimeweka watu wa kibarua wamebadilia mahindi. Sasa nikilala siku mbili mimi naenda hakuna mahindi kwa shamba. Nimeshangaa.
Government continues to issue an alert to at least 11 counties across the country over the invasion, or rather possible explosion, of the African armyworm invasive pest there, including Masai Mara as well as the Savo and Amboseli that have been identified as potential breeding grounds. So be on the lookout, especially those who are into farming, and into those 11 counties there that also include Nakuru, Makueni, Kilifi, as well as Tana River and Tharaka Nithi. For further details, log on to our website, that is www.kbc.co.ke. Now onto home ownership. The National Cooperative Housing Union has tapped a real estate firm Finsco Africa to launch a 400-acre project located in Ruiru, Kiambu County, targeting homeowners in the Nairobi metropolitan area. Finsco Africa CEO John Maura says the gated community project targets to feed into the affordable housing agenda of government and address the housing deficit in the country.
Data shows that over 5 million households live in rental homes. Most of them rent houses in urban areas, while 900,000 rent houses in rural areas. The housing deficit in Kenya has been at 200,000 units annually and growing. To address this, the National Cooperative Housing Union has tapped real estate firm Finsco Africa to launch a 400-acre project located in Ruiru, Kiambu County.
What we were doing is calling our existing clients and new clients to have conversation with them, sort of have a land clinic day for them, because we understand the need for Kenyans and clients to have a little bit of information about land processes.
Finsco Africa CEO John Mwaura said the housing project is also a social impact initiative as it seeks to provide affordable housing for low and middle income earners.
A gated community is a controlled gated community. We are going to have a situation whereby people are not going to do the type of houses they wish and do them without consulting. Give us your wish, but come, we try to talk. We tell you this is the kind of house that we are allowing here.
He is encouraging Kenyans to join or form cooperatives, circles and saving groups to purchase land or build houses.
Now on to sports, and we start on a very high note. Our very own is now crowned Africa's fastest man. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Ferdinand Omanyala, who ran a superb 9-second.98 to win the men's 100 meters event at the ASA Track and Field Grand Prix format in Germiston, South Africa. Now, while doing this, he did not only make Kenyans proud, but he also set a new record there, being the highlight of the 4th Grand Prix meet of the season. The African record holder, clocked 9.98 seconds to beat Simbine Preti comfortably of South Africa there, and in the end also beating Bradley Nakona, who finished 3rd at 10 seconds, and actually 10.32 seconds there. So officially, the Kenyan sprinter Ferdinand Omanyala, who's dubbed Beast from the East, defeated South Africa's 2-time Olympic finalist Akani Simbane in that particular race. Congratulations, Ferdinand, there. Thank you for putting Kenya squarely on the map. Now away from South Africa and that impressive race there by Ferdinand Omanyala, who is now Africa's fastest sprinter, so to say, and so to speak, he's proudly Kenyan. Now, the Kenyan national women's deaf basketball team is targeting a top 5 finish at the 24th Summer Deaf Olympics, set to be held from the 1st to the 15th of this next month in Brazil. The team's first appearance at the prestigious event was in 2017 in Turkey, where they finished 8th.
Deaf Olympics in Brazil. The team's first appearance at the event was in 2017 in Turkey, where they finished 8th and were awarded a diploma certificate thanks to their outstanding performance on their debut. Assistant coach Hilda Indacia says they do not want to set unrealistic targets, having been pulled in Group B alongside the United States, Turkey, Lithuania and Ukraine. Group A comprises of hosts Brazil, Greece, Italy and Poland.
We know it's a big challenge ahead of us. We know we're going to need to work so hard, and we are really hoping to improve from what we had done the past Deaf Olympics in 2017.
While 20 players are in camp at Moi International Sports Center Kasarani in Nairobi, only 12 will travel to Brazil for the games, with Captain Mercy Mideva saying they are not intimidated by their powerhouse opponents as they look to improve their ranking in the world. Kenya is ranked 9th globally in the women's deaf basketball.
We have been doing drills, the training has been going on well, and our coach will be choosing the best players to represent the team and the country in Brazil.
Kenya national men's deaf basketball team are in Group A alongside Israel, United States, Argentina and Poland. Group B has Lithuania, hosts Brazil, Greece, Venezuela, Chinese Taipei and Ukraine.
All the best, ladies, in that particular bout. Now, this brings a cap to matters in the headlines this morning. But we're not done with news. We are going to be sampling the newspapers that we have with us this morning. So do keep it right here.
I've drafted the contract. You just need to sign it. Why? I'm an excellent beautician. Why is no one willing to hire me? The worst thing is, some of them are my old friends.
I want to hire her. I'll let her work in Venus again, doing the lowest job so I can insult her.
Give us a minute. I have something to say to Miss Gao.
Dad.
You leave too.
Oh.
Mahaka wako wengi wa kuhaka. Nitakuwa naeleza mahakama wao.
Wewe kwanza hata usinikumbuse. Kakifika sana kwa nyumba si unasemanga I don't know what to say. Cause everything you do is good.
Ngoja papuoti. Papuoti. Papuoti.
Wewe. Thibitisho wakapiga lile simu na nikalilia kwa mfuko la babuni.
Analudia. Wewe kaa huko. Lakini wewe mzee. Hapa
koti wewe.
Ananiita.
Uheshimu koti. Ala?
Fanina niita namna hiyo. Mimi tulikuwa na wewe nikihaki hiyo kwa hizo Twitter.
Siku lakini kulingana na
kwa nini unaeleza mahakama urongo?
Akwa. Nakusamee maana ujui unalotenda.
Wewe ndio ujui.
Uachiliwe uende nyumbani.
Okay.
Mundos divididos por una sombra de traición, caos de dolor.
Lying heart.
Fue sembrando el veneno y la ambición.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. We move on with what we have lined up for you, and now we get to have a quick look at what the papers have for us today. I have a copy of the Daily Nation, and the main read today focuses on the fuel crisis that we are seeing in the country with the deportation of the boss, managing director at Ruby's. So the government yesterday did sign some deportation papers for Ruby's Energy Kenya managing director, that is Jean Christian, who it accused of economic sabotage as it fought oil marketers and setting off a petrol crisis throughout the country. They were also noted to have been participating in the exportation of fuel and petroleum products across two other countries while the local market was experiencing a shortage. We'll be giving you more details about these stories in just a bit. Moving on to politics, Kalonzo has been cornered and he can't leave Azimio. This is in regards to his most recent protest letter in regards to some of the parts of the deal that he signed with the coalition, saying that, especially focusing on three areas, saying that this was not what we signed, but according to allies of ODM and the greater Azimio fraternity, they say that he cannot leave the coalition. He's stuck with them, and this is based on the election laws. And still keeping up with politics is the whole question about UDA primaries that will be taking place today. Who will win big as big fights in Ruto's UDA hold polls? Of course, we had seen some bit of chaos when it comes to the transportation of this primary materials that were being sent to the different counties for the for the UDA primaries, and all this was happening yesterday, but we will be giving you the details as has been captured on this particular daily. And finally, yesterday there was that story here on the Daily Nation concerning Ukraine, which was proposing to make a statement in Parliament, Kenya's Parliament, but Kenya respectfully declined, saying that they opt to venture into more diplomatic ways when it comes to handling the situation. And today, there's another piece here that says, we respect Kenya's stand on Ukraine crisis, says Russia. I will be letting you know what has been captured on these stories in just a bit. Mike.
Yes, and on the front page of the Star, the front page headline is Raila locks in Kalonzo as Azimio registered. Now, a deeper look into that is on page 4 and 5. How Kenyatta and Raila locked in Kalonzo in Azimio. We're going to take a look at that later on. Still on the front page of the Star is ODM big guns in Raila's Nyanza tough 100 direct tickets. That's on page 7. We're going to take a look at that. The main players are Siaya Governor aspirant James Orengo and Kisumu Governor Anyang' Nyong'o, who have been given direct tickets. We're going to take a look at that later on. But the most interesting story to me is the front page, the photo. As you can see, is a border rider carrying 7 children on the border. the headline being Boda Boda arrogance. That's something I really want us to take a look at, especially since there's all these conversations going on about the fuel prices. So we're going to see what's going on, because some parties are saying that it's because of the fuel shortage that some haven't registered. It's also because of, the fuel shortage that some are misbehaving on the road. So we'll see. Let's dive deeper into it later on. Doreen?
All right, Easter woes, hunger, fuel crisis, and party polls. This is the weekend for Easter, and as it stands, with the majority of Kenyans, good number of them always love to travel to up country, but with the ongoing issues, particularly in the country as it pertains to matters hunger, fuel crisis, and party polls, this might just hinder some of those Kenyans to travel up country. That is what you're waking up to this morning. And also when it pertains to the issue on the question of hunger, we at least so far know that 3.3 million Kenyans are suffering from this, and this is particularly in the northeastern part of the country. And also IGAD has released a statement in respect to that. The government is still trying to intervene, particularly when it comes to this issue of hunger in the country, obviously occasioned by the drought effect. There's also the fuel crisis. We expect a press today. We expect EPRA to release new prices, and particularly also just try to expect things to change in this issue of fuel crisis. And again, party polls, knowing fully well that this is again ongoing in this weekend, because they have up until April 22nd to finish the nomination. So this is just some of the issues that have been brought forth as to why perhaps this may hinder Kenyans from traveling up country, as is or as tradition is always when it comes to this holiday. And again, also the UDA party primaries, will the deputy president Ruto fly or flop? This is because he is very, he actually is at the center stage of this primaries, and he's actually on record also saying that he is going to supervise these primaries that are ongoing today in the across the country. This is in respect to the UDA party. Even before today, we have seen a lot of negotiated democracy taking place in this particular party when it comes to the consensus. We've seen some candidates having to back down for others, the recent one being the South Imenti, where the famous comedian MC Jesse just had to back down for, that is in favor of Mwiti Kadhara. We've also seen that in Mombasa County, where Hassan Omar is going to fly the party ticket for the gubernatorial seat, again also after consensus. We've seen that in Nairobi. So clearly, much as yes, they are going to hold this primaries today, also that issue of consensus has taken center stage. And again, this has not augured well with a section of some people, because, well, there's that question of always going to the ballot. But even as this stands, the National Elections Board chairperson, that is Anthony Mwaura, has assured the aspirants of free and fair nominations, and he says that everything is in place. Actually, as it stands, the party has already recruited 47 county returning officers, 200 constituency returning officers, 21,000 presiding officers, and 52,000 clerks to man these primaries that are taking place today. And away from that, still again the same continues in the ODM party. Just as I mentioned, 22nd of April, that is next week, Friday, is the deadline for this nomination. And so as that is continuing in the UDA, which actually is taking place today, ODM spread that to different days. And again, what has been happening also in that particular party as it pertains to primaries, or if you made the nominations, and this is again in specific areas. This actually as of yesterday in Raila Odinga's backyard, that is in Siaya areas of Mageta Island. There were delays in these primaries, and again also the party members were really complaining, citing issues of inadequate preparedness, missing names of some of the aspirants, which also brought in some chaos as it pertains to those nominations that were being held there yesterday. So clearly it is that time where parties are really buckling up to just try to ensure that by the time it's 22nd, they are complete and done with these nominations. Regina. Now I'll pick it up from there, because that is what we have on the front page of this particular daily, being the Standard there. Protest as UDA holds nominations. Remember, the party primaries are taking place today. We expect that our reporters who are stationed in various counties, including Meru, Embu, Uasin Gishu, Baringo, Kiambu, Kericho, Nandi, and Bomet, are on standby to bring us, what is happening on ground. From that story on the front page is that, there have been a bit of, protests here and there, especially in Embu. We are going to be getting an update in our subsequent bulletins on exactly what is happening. Remember, this IBC, these primaries are going to be taking place in gazetted areas or, areas that have already been identified by IBC to conduct this exercise. The party has come out to say that these elections are to be nominations are to be free and fair. We're going to be waiting to see if indeed it's going to be a seamless affair. KBC Channel 1 is already in Nandi, Bomet, Kericho, Kiambu, Baringo, Uasin Gishu, Embu and Meru to bring you information from the ground there. In Uasin Gishu, we already have 7 gubernatorial aspirants there who include quite bigwigs there in as far as being household names are concerned. Among them is former Kenyan ambassador to Pakistan, Julius Bitok, Ms. Sarah Serem of SRC, and also the Kenyan ambassador to China, Soy MP Caleb Kostani, Jonathan B, former Nairobi County Executive Member Veska Kangongo, and Mr. David Singoe and Solomon Kiptarbe. Those are 7 household names that you've had in politics in one capacity or another. They're all eyeing, the ticket, UDA ticket there to run for governor in Uasin Gishu County. Now, according to Uasin Gishu UDA coordinator Paul Kiprop, voting is set to start at 7 a.m. and close at 5 p.m. Remember, as stipulated by the law, the party is going to be using its register for this particular exercise. Kenyans have been appealing for a peaceful environment as we enter into the nominations, as well as, as we head to the August 9th elections there. So other than matters of the ODM party nominations that are going to be taking place or are taking place as we speak, given that these particular places are set to open their doors at 7 a.m. So we believe the exercise is already underway. We are going to be getting feed from our reporters on ground. We are talking about why you need to brace for fuel price shock. That is a big read in this particular daily, being the 14th of April, where we expect our monthly fuel review. And in light of what has been happening over the last 1 or 2 weeks there, with OM saying that they have not been fully compensated, by government. Government still owes them a cool 14 billion shillings. And now developments that happened yesterday evening, there's a planned deportation of one Ruby Energy Group MD, Jean-Christian Bagajon, who was deported last night on account of withholding this particular commodity. Also, a report by EPRA indicated yesterday that some OMs, those are oil marketers, opted to export fuel to neighboring countries instead of actually supplying their local outlets, causing a huge fuel crisis that is still underway. As late or as early as this morning, queues are already forming in, fuel stations that actually have petrol there. And a time when Kenyans are waiting to find out if EPRA is going to review the fuel price up. Industry players who spoke to this particular daily exclusively indicate that if government does not subsidize or use the petroleum development levy, rather the subsidy program, we are looking at an increase of up to 40 shillings onto the current price of super petrol, taking the price to around 178, 175 shillings per litre of super petrol. And this will also affect the cost of diesel and kerosene. What does this mean for households across the country? It means that the cost of living is going to go way higher than where we find ourselves in. And talking about matters of, the cost of living going way up, yesterday a section of members of parliament held a presser to address the nation, and some of the concerns were being raised about, the politics that is encroaching into the Finance Bill 2022. Quoted there is a minority party leader, John Badi, who is telling MPs allied to Raila to reject VAT that Treasury slapped on critical household commodities. The commodities that we're talking about include wheat, maize and maize flour, attracting a 16% VAT there. This is likely to push, the cost of living beyond a majority of Kenyans reach there. So he argued that, the government is, for instance, proposed to remove unga from zero rated, and this will definitely be rejected by us because it hurts the consumer. He further went on, this is Mr. Mbadi, the reality is that bottled water has ceased to be a luxury and is now a necessity, and we may decide to reject the proposal to hike that taxation. On the proposed taxation on for boda is modest, but it also is sending the wrong message that the price of motorbikes should be increased. We are waiting to see which direction Parliament is going to take in regard to the proposals that have already been handed to Parliament by Treasury there under the Finance Bill 2022. Remember, in his presentation there, CS National Treasury Ukur Yetani indicated that there was a review of even the items that are going to attract 10% more in excise duty. So we are yet to find out exactly what is going to be happening in Parliament. At the same time, the Budget Office says the government is to pay 1.3 trillion shillings in 2022 to redeem debt, which is 60% of the projected tax revenue. The Kenya Revenue Services, now that we know them as the Kenya Revenue Service, in a change of name that is expected to bring more people to the fold, or rather enhance tax compliance. It is estimated that it is to rake in, or rather collect taxes of 2.14 trillion shillings. 2.14 trillion shillings out to for a budget that is pegged at 3.3 trillion shillings. Now, more than half of the public debt is at an 8-time high, when the US dollar is at 115 to the greenback, from a rate of 84 shillings in 2012. Now, public debt to GDP ratio was at 38% in 2012. Actually, in 2012, but today it is 64% of the same level in 2002. So according to this particular article, the current financial situation we find ourselves at, the current state of the economy, is very similar to what we were experiencing in 2002. And it goes on to say, here too, profitable state enterprises such as Mumias Sugar, KPLC, KPC, and Kenya Airways are in the red. Corruption remains unabated in public service, and there is pain at the pump, in the kitchen, and in the farms and factories. Sounds like a 2002 scenario in as far as the state of the economy is concerned. That's just but a sneak peek of what we have on the front page of this particular daily. Jane.
Now, let me bring you back to the Daily Nation. And before we move away from this whole stories concerning fuel, there is a piece here on the Daily Nation from experts who say that crowding at fuel stations can trigger explosions. And Regina, we're just having this conversation earlier on about how petrol stations, watu kugwarana na magari.
Oh yes, it has become space. No one is actually, that's where it comes out, and the first come, first served kind of basis.
Yes.
There are motorcycle riders. There are those who have abandoned their vehicles somewhere, who've walked in with jerrycans. There are those who are queuing like us, and there are those who are coming in the last minute and they want to butt into the queue.
No one wants to excuse the other.
It's crazy.
So now, this piece goes on to say that this crowding at petrol stations could easily spark an explosion, considering that no one is switching off their engine, because ukisonga, ninasonga. And as we always see at petrol stations, there are those signs.
Don't use
no smoking, don't use your
mobile phone,
and switch off your engine. But no one is switching off their engines, and also carrying fuel with the jerry cans. Again, that's a big hazard. So now they're saying this uncontrolled crowding could also tamper with safety gadgets like alarms and firefighting equipment, as well as control systems of the petrol stations. So you are advised, do not smoke as you wait in line. Preferably switch off your car and do not use your cell phone as well. And lighters and matchsticks as well. And this might seem to be common sense, information that you would expect everyone to know. But at the end of the day, we always see that common sense is not very common. So if you find yourself at the petrol station, try and remember you're at a petrol station.
Jane, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to switch off my engine.
Is the practicability of
we ain't switching off our engines because we're on the queue. But yes, it's crazy. It looks as if we are going for donations and you're not paying for the commodity.
And have you seen the traffic?
That's crumbling and you're yet paying for the commodity. It's not free. You are paying. And now I'm very worried what is going to happen after midnight tonight.
And have you seen the traffic that all this is causing?
Oh, yes. And the rains, as far as this morning, the rains, then the normal rains attract traffic. Now we have the rains. Thank God for farmers, no problem.
And fuel.
Now we have a fuel crisis, plus the rain, plus traffic. No wonder people are saying, actually, you're fueling. Unaweka mafuta ya kwenda kutafuta mafuta, mafuta inaisha. And you're there, you're left stranded. Then someone else, I actually woke up to someone saying, you know what?
Yeah.
The price of painting my bumper has never been this cheaper. Because they're ready to actually hit someone,
to get as you fuel.
To refill, to fuel.
Get fuel. But I don't know, I just hope that by the time today ends, things will now start being different.
But let us remember that oil and its petroleum products, they're highly flammable.
Highly flammable.
Yes. So kama utaki kuwaka moto, songa pole pole.
That would be a disaster.
At this point, what are you really prioritizing? Because by the time you're getting to that petrol station, you're not even thinking about all these things, much as it is very important. But your mind is just thinking, how can I get there at the pump?
Mike,
get fuel.
Mike amenyamaza sana, kwani umegonga mtu kwa petrol station?
Actually the situation is, it's not even about the traffic.
It's close to the heart.
It's actually close to the heart because I was actually really disappointed this morning when I was coming into work. Some of the petrol stations went as far as putting tape.
Quarantine.
Meaning you're not even allowed inside the station. So where are we? It's a sensitive topic as per now.
I asked someone a curious question. We talked about, tech, the Industrial Revolution, we're here, electric cars. This would be the ideal time to actually have one.
Kwanza if you have a hybrid.
Yeah. This would be the ideal, then you remember, oh, you're in Kenya. Once it rains, they unhung the power. Where are we, in whose hands are we safe? Yeah, so we are in a catch-22.
Are there lessons we can borrow from different countries, maybe the West? Like, at least we understand they always have reserves, and anytime there's crisis like this, they try and bring them out. So can we borrow some of these lessons? Or is it difficult because we are in an African...
Are you talking about what are we? We're already in the mark.
Fuel.
We're already in the mark. Unless we learn from this situation for future. But for now, it's jungle. It's a jungle. It's a jungle.
And at the end of the day, it's just you and I.
I'm worried that we'll get to, in a parking lot, if this thing is not abated. You know the way those trucks that are doing transit, the time that they claim that people fuel, or rather siphon fuel from them. Are you imagining a situation maybe in the court, you've parked your car, you're like, hey, at least I have half a tank. Your neighbor knows, man, this guy is always going to work. How is he getting to work and I'm suffering? In the dead of the night, they siphon your fuel. I hope it doesn't get there. It does not paint a good picture, especially for a country that is priding itself as an economic powerhouse within the East African region. This thing needs to be abated. Jane, before I take it to you, I'd want to also point out that we're going to have a boost in as far as our sporting events are concerned, and this is because Fraser Price and Richardson are to light up the Keep Kano Classic. How about that? Who doesn't know that chick? Mike, please tell me you know this lady. Do you know Anne Fraser Price?
I do, but...
Yes, the sprinter.
Yes.
She be a sprinter, has already bagged 3 golds in the Olympics, World Championship, 9 gold medals, Indoor Championship, 1 gold, World Athletics Finals, 1, Diamond League, 4, Commonwealth Games, 1. And guess what? She's coming to the country to participate in the Keep Kano Classic that is slated for the 7th of next month at the Kasarani Stadium. Booyah.
Regina, don't say that again. Inner voice. Now, as we bring this segment to a close, I think there's some 2 stories here concerning health that I would like to just highlight very briefly. Number 1 is on the treatment of cervical cancer. According to the World Health Organization, they approved the use of single human papillomavirus, that is HPV vaccine dose. So single-use dose as opposed to the treatment that has been when it comes to cervical cancer prevention. So according to the Strategic Advisory Group of Experts, they said that this single-dose vaccine is good and it works better than the 2-dose that usually get, and it is said to be a game changer, and this is especially so for women who are aged 15 and above. And of course, just looking at the statistics that they have given here, when it comes to Kenya, an estimated 16.2 million women are at risk of developing cervical cancer, but with this single-dose vaccine, it goes a long way in the prevention of cervical cancer. And the other story is in regards to the treatment of rabies. India has developed the world's first 3-dose rabies vaccine. The dose that is currently available is a 5-dose vaccine that is given over a course of 28 days, 5 doses to be considered to be a complete dose. And there's so many people who never see the whole treatment through because of availability and the finances involved. So with this 3-dose vaccine, it is set to make things easier and help patients see through the entire regimen to just ensure treatment is actually effective. And this is very good news, especially in India, considering the population and the number of stray dogs that are always running about living their best lives. So good news right there.
All right, just before we get to close this, Jane, I think I'd want to look at this story because it's really a very pertinent issue, much as we talk about the fuel crisis.
Briefly, tukifunga kaka maneno.
Yes, tukifunga, it's because of the ravaging effects of drought and the hunger crisis in this country. You know that IGAD has already issued a statement, 3.3 million Kenyans suffering from that, and our civil society groups as of yesterday raised concerns as to particularly the money that the state has been disbursing to these Kenyans that they talked about at the beginning of the year. And the question is that if they're disbursing this money, what rationale are they using? Because also a good number of Kenyans say that they have not received this money, and at the same time, yes, if they're distributing the money, how about the 11 children that so far have died in Marsabit because of the issues of drought? So they really want the government to take intervention very quickly as it pertains to this issue of drought and hunger crisis in the country. So that is just what is coming up from one of the civil society group, that is the Route to Food Initiative Challenge.
All right, so I think with that, we have come to the end of In the Headlines. We do believe now you are best positioned to grab whichever daily best resonates with you. But we have so much more lined up for you. To stay with us. Entertainment Thursday is officially on.
changes, technologies grow, and so you need to be in the know.
We are looking into matters, technology and education.
We bring you tech news from all over the world.
Me, I understand science revolves around life.
Tech policies and programs. Take on Tech has your back. Coming to your screens every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1. Join me, Stephanie Ayeta and Grace Githaga as we serve you with only the best tech updates the world over.
I've drafted the contract. You just need to sign it. Why? I'm an excellent beautician. Why is no one willing to hire me? The worst thing is, some of them are my old friends.
I want to hire her. I'll let her work in Venus again, doing the lowest job so I can insult her.
Give us a minute. I have something to say to Miss Gao.
Dad.
You leave too.
Oh.
Najua nilikukosea kukuleta kwa babako bila kutaka kwako.
Badizo yule mwanamke ni sumu. Yule Kate ni sumu ndani ya nyumba, mimi nakwambia.
Siku hizi tabia yako imezidi badala ya kupungua.
Bado kuna uadui mkubwa sana kati yetu ambao unahitaji suluhisho.
Wewe wataka nimwambie nani?
Mpoteze kitoto ambayo ile utakula wewe mwenyewe.
Leo, si ndio wewe ulikuwa unataka nyumba yako ama?
Right, and we are on. Entertainment Thursday begins right now. We are on with our first guest this morning, all about matters gospel, and also be trying to understand how you can be able to balance gospel music, or better still, being an artist, being into business, being a family woman, and all of this coming together and still try to do music. My guest is already on set. That is Catherine Bugwa. She is a business lady as well as a gospel artist. Kate, karibu sana to the program.
Asante sana.
Uko vipi?
Niko poa. Niko poa kabisa.
Una feel easy relaxed?
Kabisa.
Now, umetoka tu kuniambia ulianza muziki 2008. But so far uko na nyimbo 3 under your name, is it? I mean, imekuwa over 10 years plus. Mbona umechukua muda mrefu hivi kutoa nyimbo after nyimbo?
Okay, nilipotoa hizo nyimbo nilipata challenge kwa sababu wakati ambao nilikuwa natoa hizo nyimbo nilikuwa sina uwezo kabisa ya kutoa nyimbo. But sasa venye nilitoa hiyo forum ya kwanza, hiyo ambayo imepepa nyimbo 8, nimekuwa na challenge kiasi, nikakuwa hata sina mali naweza penya, ndio hizo zile nyimbo zikaweze kufikia watu. So wakati nilisitoa nikarelax, nikaona asifikii watu wengi venye nilikuwa natarajia, so nikarelax. Venye nirelax tu sikuweza kuingia kwa studio tena.
Wimbo wako wa kwanza ilikuwa gani?
Wimbo wangu wa kwanza ilikuwa Upendo wa Ajabu.
Upendo wa Ajabu. That was your first song.
Yes.
So ni challenges gani hizi ulipata along the way that made you say, "Ai, wacha tu ni relax kwanza"? Because 2008 sasa tuko 2022. Next mtu ana expect kuwa na albums, kuwa na singles kadhaa pale nje, you know?
Okay, challenges ambazo nilipata ilikuwa wakati nilitoa huo wimbo wa kwanza, nilipata kusponsiwa, yani nilishikiliwa na mchungaji wangu, na mchungaji wa ile kanisa nilikuwa that time. So wakati ambao nilikuja nikakuwa siko kasi, niko hivyo, so sikupata pesa ya kutoa wimbo ingine. So nilikuja nikarelax. Mpaka wakati ambao nilikuja kufanya harusi. Wakati nilifanya harusi ndio nikapata ambaye mume ambao alinishikilia akaweza kunipost mpaka nikaweza kutoa hizo zingine 2. So from that time nikakuja nikarelax mpaka wakati sasa Mungu amefungua njia.
Kwa hivyo issues zilikuwa mostly finances, resources, which is again also one of those things that good number of artists, wasanii wengi wanasema shida ni pesa. The challenge is how to get finances. So this your other 2 songs umezitoa which time was this?
Okay, nimezitoa 2010 wakati nilifanya harusi. Nikaweza kupata hizo 2, akaweza kunishikilia, nikaweza kustore mpaka vindu zake. So ndio naendelea sasa kutoka that time.
So the 2 songs ulizitoa 2010.
2010.
So in between again 2010 and now you've not released.
Hapana,
you know why I'm asking that is because they keep saying, na mara mingi wanasema kwamba female artists, not just gospel but just wasanii female hawako consistent. Na mara mingi wanasema kwamba unajua kama msanii ambaye ni female kuna kazi nyingi sana to females. Kuna according to wewe umeolewa, uliolewa, uko na watoto, uko na familia, uko na biashara yako. Kuna vitu nyingi sana ambazo mwanamke wanafanya compared to their male counterparts. But for you got support but still it's taken you over 10 years to bado release songs. What is the issue?
Issue ilikuwa tu kwa tumestand vizuri kwa financial. Atumbando atunjakuwa step kwa ni financial. For now tukiangalia kuingia studio for now kurekodi wimbo ingine moja ina take 10k. 10k unaona ni challenge kuipata, alafu ile maisha ambazo tuko saa hii kila kitu watoto uko na wao, kila kitu iko juu, iko juu. So nitasema tu challenge sana ni kwa pesa, kwa sababu sijaweza kutoa muziki ingine.
But now you're looking forward to that?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about your first song, Upendo wa Ajabu. What was the idea, inspiration behind this song? 2008 ni kitambo.
That time ni wakati ambao nilikuwa nimetoka nyumbani pale Embu, nikakuwa sina wasasi. Nilipitia challenge sana nikiwa mtoto mdogo, maana wakati nilikuwa shule nilifika 12 years, nikakuwa mamangu wako pamoja na babangu. So have kuwa nitachukuliwa na mtu anileta huku Nairobi niweze kumfanyia kazi. So wakati alikuja na mimi na huku Nairobi kunipea kazi, nikakuwa na challenge, akakuwa na challenge na mimi ikakuwa anajua my background, take that advantage, akakuwa ananitesa, ananichapa, ananifanyia mambo machafu. But sasa ndio akakuja wakati mmoja akaweza kunifukuza kwake. Wakati nilifukuza nilijipata na raha kwa church. Wakati nilijipata kwa church, hapo ndipo nilipewa hiyo upendo wa ajabu. Maana hiyo wimbo ni wakati ambao nilikuwa sasa sina mtu karibu. Wale ambao tulikuwa tunajuana na wao, wale marafiki, hasa hata wasasi wangu, nikakuwa sina mzazi mahala pale, nikajipata peke yangu. Lati nikakuja kutambua ya kwamba upendo wa Yesu ni wa ajabu kwangu, alafu ni wa dhamana kwa maisha yangu. Maana pale niliachwa na Yesu peke yake. That's why nilitoa hiyo wimbo.
So tuseme most of your songs actually is as a result of what umepitia. You know, wewe kama Kate. Ukiangalia upbringing yako na based on your story, umesema pale nyumbani wakati ambapo ulikuwa una grow, maisha ikuwa that easy for you because mom and dad hawako pamoja, issues hapa na pale. Looking at that, ime influence aje the kind of person that you are today, even just as a gospel artist?
Okay, ndio wakati ambao nilifika kutoa hiyo wimbo, nilihave kuwa na church ambao ni for gospel churches of Kenya, Joska, under Bishop Mwangi. Huyo bishop alinishikilia sana kwa hiyo wakati, akakuwa amenishika mkono, akakuwa ananidirect hata pesa za kutoa hizo nyimbo yeye ndiye alinipa. Akanipeleka studio, akanilipia hizo nyimbo, hiyo upendo wa ajabu na maombi, akaweza kusilipa studio. So nikahave kutoa hizo nyimbo. So niliangukia mikononi mwa bishop na akakuwa wakunilea vizuri from that time ya 15 years. So nikakaa na yeye na Bishop Mwangi, akakuwa ananilea vizuri kwa neno la Mungu, akakuwa ananidirect vizuri mpaka wakati nilifika 24 years, ndio sasa nikaweza kurudi sasa pale Embu. So all along hiyo miaka yote sikuwa na wazazi, sikuwa na watu wetu, na sikuwa na watu walikuwa karibu na mimi. So ni Mungu alinipea bishop, huyo nilikuwa na yeye. So nirudi home from 15 years nikiwa na 24 years.
Wow. So all this time umekaa tu na bishop.
Nimekaa tu na bishop.
So he's been more like mentor wako.
Yes.
Tuongee kuhusu hiyo mentorship aspect kidogo, because again ukiangalia the music industry ama the arts industry and also particularly gospel, saizi kuna maongezi mengi kwamba hakuna mentorship, na ukiangalia pia muziki ambazo wasanii saizi wanatoa kidogo, kwanza za gospel utapata watu wanasema hii muziki haina ile word compared to muziki za kitambo, haina ile word. Unapata wanasema kwamba ni watu wanatoa tu muziki ama wasanii wanatoa tu muziki ili wajulikane, watengeneze pesa, na hakuna ile kuinspire ama kupass message. Na hiyo yote ni kwa sababu ya hakuna mentorship. Mtazamo wako ni upi?
Mtazamo wangu ni mimi katika uimbaji wangu huo siridai na pesa sana. Kwa maana wakati nilipata mentor aliweza kunifunza hali ya kuimba katika hiyo ministry nimeingia, akanijulisha ya kwamba nijue ya kwamba nimeingia ministry ambayo shetani anajua, ambayo iko na vita, ambayo iko na mambo many challenges. Lakini wakati ambao niliingia kwa ministry akakuwa ananiongoza, nitasema ya kwamba hatu kufocus sana kwa pesa. Mimi nilifocus kwa watu wasikie ile message. Wakisikia message, wakijua upendo kama hiyo upendo wa ajabu, watu wajue kwamba Yesu anawapenda. Yesu alikufa kwa sababu ya sisi kama wanadamu, alikufa kwa sababu yako wewe, alikufa kwa sababu yangu. Ule upendo Yesu alituonyesha kwamba mimi emu yangu ni hiyo upendo tu, niwase kufikia watu hiyo ujumbe iwafikia kwamba upendo wa Yesu ni wa ajabu. So pamoja na kutazamia pesa, natazamia kwamba mioyo mingi ikubali Mungu ama impende Yesu kupitia huo wimbo. Yes.
Kwa wewe agenda yako mostly ni whether pesa itakuja ama haitakuja, nataka kuona ni watu wangapi hii wimbo imetouch.
Yes.
All right. Now, your second song, Maombi ya Watakatifu, that's your second song. Ukiangalia wimbo zako zenye umetoa so far, unaweza sema ni nini haswa huwa ina inspire the way you release your songs? Wengine watakwambia unajua mimi mpaka nikae kwa maombi, mpaka nisome. Kama sitapata hiyo inspiration from the Holy Spirit, sita release the song. So wewe nini haswa huwa ina kuinspire in terms of how you create your content, vile ambavyo unaandika nyimbo zako na vile ambavyo unazirelease?
Nyimbo zangu sana zinakuja nikiwa kwa maombi. Wakati ambao nimefunga na kuomba, siku ambao nimesema ndio nitatoka mlimani, hapo ndipo Mungu ananipeanga message. ananipea wimbo, maneno ya hiyo wimbo, ananipea maandiko inaambatana na huo wimbo. So inaweza kufomika katika ndani yangu. So ndio nakuja na iandika, alafu naenda kwa studio na iproduce. Yes.
So mara mingi ni kwamba ukae kwa maombi.
Yes.
So ukikaa hapo for long usikie kama bado ujaongeleshwa, you're not releasing. Hakuna wimbo unatoa.
But inakuanga 100%. Nikiomba Mungu, kama sasa kuna venye naangalianga for now, naangalianga naambia Mungu nataka message yenye itafikia watu wako. Na ukiwa kwa maombi, Mungu anakupea message yenye wewe unataka, anakupea message yenye yeye anataka ifikie watu. So wakati ambaye niko kwa maombi, hiyo ndio mimi inafuru sana kupata nyimbo zangu.
Kate, nataka utuambie umuhimu wa jambo hilo, kukaa kwa maombi, kungoja kwanza, should I say waiting for the Holy Spirit or God to bring you the revelation. Kidogo tu kutoka kwa mtazamo wako kama msanii ambaye at least amekuwa hapa for a long while, much as you've not released so many songs but you've been here for a long while, umuhimu wa kungoja that voice from God ni nini haswa, yenye wasanii pia wale ambao wanachipuka waweze kuelewa kwamba it's very important to wait for God's call or God's message?
Okay, umuhimu wa kupata kama saa hii fenye tumesema nyimbo za kitambo zilikuwa na nini na uguso sana na message. Siri ilikuwa kwamba kujifunga na kukosa kujinyima, kuomba, kukaa katika mlimani. Maana ukiwa katika mlima unaongea na Yesu, unaongea na Mungu direct. Unaona vile unaongea na Mungu. So ukienda kwa Mungu, message yenye Mungu yeye mwenyewe atakutoa, obviously itapata kufuro kwa watu, maana imetokana na Mungu. But ile ambayo tunakaa unafikiria kwa mawazo yako and then unachukua karatasi na kalamu unaandika, haina influence. Kwa sababu gani? Imetoka kwa mawazo. Lakini ile inatoka kwa kuongea kwa Mungu, kufunga na kuomba, iko na itatouch watu na itaguza mioyo ya watu, maana ni Mungu mwenyewe ameiweka ndani yako. So hata wale waimbaji wanaanza kuimba saa hii, the important thing ni kukesha na kuomba, kukaa kwa magoti, maana message ya kweli inatoka kwa maombi. Hakika kwa maombi ndio tunapata the real message kutoka kwa Mungu.
Talking of message,
yes,
your song Mwamba, what is the message, what is the inspiration, what is the idea?
Mwamba niko chini ya mwamba, mwamba ni Yesu. Hata maandiko yanasema kabisa hiyo, hata ilikuja direct tu ni message. Maana Biblia inasema mwamba ni Yesu. Ukisoma katika kitabu cha Ufunuo wa Yohana 7 itakuelekeza mwamba ni Yesu, ya kwamba ukikaa na inasema tena amelaaniwa mtegemeaye mwanadamu. Eli kumtegemea Yesu. Kwa hivyo wakati ambao nilikuwa kwa maombi, Mungu alinionyesha ya kwamba mwamba ni yeye. Na ukiwa katika chini ya mwamba ambaye ni Yesu, majaribu hata yakija hayatakuweza. Wewe mwenyewe utashinda majaribu. Ukikaa katika mwamba ambaye ni Yesu, ukikaa kwa Yesu, hakika Yesu atakuwa wakukushikilia. Hata kama challenges zitakuwa mingi, hata kama utafika mahali ambapo give up, ukiwa umepandwa ndani ya Kristo, uko chini ya Yesu, atakuwa mwelekezo wako katika maisha yako. So mwamba ilitoka kwa message ambao kufunuliwa ya kwamba Yesu ndiye mwamba ambaye huwezi tingizika.
So any collabos so far, anyone una look to do a collab with?
Okay, I can demand kufanya kazi ya uimbaji na Shiro wa GP.
Kwa nini?
Ambaye kwa sababu wakati huu nilikuwa naingia kwa uimbaji, kuna wimbo Shiro ameimba na Kikuyu. Lile jambo unalifanya kama unafanyia Mungu, endelea kufanya. Huo wimbo unanitia nguvu sana. Ate lile jambo unalifanya. Nilikuwa nalichukua hata nikiwa mdogo, nasema aje nilikuwa 15 years. Kama Shiro wanji pia natuhimiza, lile jambo tunalifanya. Kama unajua kwa moyo wako linamtukuza Mungu, endelea kufanya. Kwa hivyo sikuwa na budi kufanya, kuingia katika uimbaji. Maana niliona ni right thing nafanya, ni jambo mzuri nafanya, na ni jambo linamtukuza Mungu. Kwa hivyo Shiro alinivutia sana kwa uimbaji, na akaweza kunipea msingi mzuri ya kwamba nisimame tu kwa Yesu na nimshikilie akiwa, maana hilo jambo nafanya ni the right thing, niendelee kulifanya. So alinitia moyo sana.
Okay, now uko into business, you're a business lady, we ni mama familia, bado we ni mwimbaji msanii. Hizi zote una balance aje?
Okay, katika wiki yangu huwa nafanya kazi ya boutique ya kuuza manguo. So kuna wakati mwingine niko na msichana tunasaidiana na yeye, msichana wangu Faith. So wakati ambao siko kwa kazi, niko kwa uimbaji, naacha mtu pale. Wakati ambao niko katika nimeitwa mahali kuimba, tuko na mtu tunasaidiana. That is
so it's just out there that you can actually do this thing. Ukiweka tu roho yako, moyo wako pale, you can be able to balance. You can be in business, bado uko pale kwa usanii, na bado uko familia.
Na familia kabisa.
Just knowing how to balance. Tukimalizia, Kate, what next for you kama msanii?
Okay,
as a gospel minister.
Okay, ile jambo ambalo ninatarajia hasa kwa huu mwaka ni Mungu anisaidie nikaweze kutoa nyimbo mingi, na hasa sio nyimbo tu, ni nyimbo ambazo ziko na upako, ambazo sitaguza watu na sitavikia watu wengi wamjue Yesu, na wajue kwamba Yesu ndiye baba yetu. Kwa hivyo wakati ambao tunaamini Mungu, ambao tunamtegemea Yesu na kukaa kwake, hatutaaibika na majaribu hata tushinda. Kwa hivyo kwa wimbaji wangu tunaomba Mungu tu anisaidie nikaweze kuwa na hiyo nikaweze kupata pesa vizuri, nikaweze kutoa hizo nyimbo. Hasa kwa moyo wangu kuna nyimbo mingi sana, over 30 ambazo Mungu ametia ndani yangu. So ninaomba tu kwa naomba Mungu tu mwaka anisaidie tu nikaweze kupata njia ya kusitoa hizo nyimbo, ndio message ikavikia watu wengi.
Na atakusaidia.
Na atanisaidia.
We say from your mouth to God's.
Yes. Yes.
All right, so this is how we bring this conversation to a close. I've been speaking to Kate Bugwa. She is a business lady, gospel musician, into family, just trying to also show us how you can strike and bring that balance. But Good Morning Kenya still continues, still have a lot in store for you, so stick around, still have a lot in store for you.
Lying heart.
Karen, open the door, please.
They will fight for their love until the end.
Najua nilikukosea kukuleta kwa babako bila kutaka kwako.
Badizo, yule mwanamke ni sumu. Yule Kate ni sumu ndani ya nyumba, mimi nakwambia.
Siku hizi tabia yako imezidi badala ya kupungua.
Bado kuna uadui mkubwa sana kati yetu ambao unahitaji suluhisho.
Wewe wataka nimwambie nani?
Mpoteze kitoto ambaye leo utakula wewe mwenyewe.
Leo. Si ndio wewe ulikuwa unataka nyumba yako ama?
I've drafted the contract. You just need to sign it. Why? I'm an excellent beautician. Why is no one willing to hire me? The worst thing is, some of them are my old friends.
I want to hire her. I'll let her work in Venus again, doing the lowest job so I can insult her.
Give us a minute. I have something to say to Miss Gao.
Dad.
You leave too.
Oh.
Welcome back to Good Morning Kenya. I'm Mike Itai. Next up tuko na artist mwingine upcoming mkale sana, goes by the name Mr. Chairman. Jina ni kubwa. Jina ni kubwa sana. Let's dive straight into it. Let's start with the name Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Why, kwa nini ulichagua hiyo jina?
Sikuchagua. Sikujichagulia. Originally naitwa Kevo, kwa wengi ambao wananijua. But so muziki wangu ni storytelling, naandika story ambao ni kama nafanya hadithi fulani hivi. So most of the times nimeperform nikiwa nimeketi. So mimi utanipata kwa stage na kuja na hype ama sijui nipe mkono nini. So nakuja na kiti, I'm giving a story. I want you to listen to it. Ujue nasema nini.
Hata kwanza tupatie scenario, unaika kiti alafu unaimba.
Assume you are the MC. Umeniita wapi wakofi ama whatever.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah. Tashukuru. So nitakuja na kiti. So everyone nitateka your attention first. Nitakuja na kiti. So first utashanga nataka kufanya nini na hiyo kiti. But nitakuja niweke pale mbele alafu niketi. Then ngoma iwekwe. So I'll be telling you a story through the song. So people used to call me Mr. Chairman. Ule jamaa wa kiti. Ule jamaa wa kiti. So I took what people gave me. Simple.
Na your first instance ndio watu waanze kukuita sasa Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Ilifanyika by accident vile ulienda na kiti? Ulikuwa umechoka hiyo siku ama?
Hapana. Nimetokea Nakuru County. And if you know Nakuru iko na talents nyingi sana. Karibu kila mtu ni msanii by the way. Wasanii wanachipuka kila siku. So ndio stand out, lazima kuwa unique sana. Unaona? So lazima ufanye kitu ambacho utabaki wewe una stand out. So nilikuwa nataka kitu kama hicho. Alafu nilikuwa naenda na kiti, ndio hata ukikutana na mimi kesho utanikumbuka ule jamaa wa kiti. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, tuende nyuma kidogo sasa.
Yes.
Music. Ni time gani ulisema okay, mimi nataka kuwa musician? Unaweza kumbuka ni nini ilikuwa inspire kuingia sasa kwa hii ministry? Kwa sababu unaitumia kama ministry?
Yeah. Nimesikiza wasanii wengi sana. Waimbaji wengi sana. Sana nilikuwa nafuatilia, unaona zile CD nini zile zilikuwa zinawekwa kwa decks pale. DVD hizo enzi. So ningekuwa na CD za waimbaji wengi sana nafuatilia, nataka kuwa kama wao, nashika nyimbo zao.
Kama nani?
Kuna mwimbaji anaitwa Ilagosa wa Ilagosa. Mimba Mungu wako atakupigania. You know, people know that song. Kulikuwa na hizo nini zake nyingi sana tape kwa nyumba. So ningefuatilia sana mpaka naimba nyimbo zake. Unaona? But sasa nikiimba nyimbo zake watu wanafurahia, lakini watu wananiambia lakini unatupima. Mbona sasa usiandike yako, mbona unaimba za wenyewe? So ilikuwa ni challenge, unaona? So sema hata mimi naweza jiandikia na nikiimba inakuwa ni mimi sasa.
Na kabla uambiwe hivyo, wewe ulikuwa unahisi aje? Ulikuwa unaona ni kama ni kitu unaweza fanya wewe mwenyewe hata kabla upate validation from other people?
Ni kitu nilikuwa naona naweza fanya, lakini sikuwa nataka kuforce. Unaweza pata napenda muziki lakini mimi si msanii. Kwa nini napenda muziki na si msanii? Labda ni songwriter tu ama ni mfano kusikiza nyimbo tu. So nilihave kujisikiza kwanza mimi mwenyewe. So unasikiza nafsi yako, nikapata kweli kitu iko ndani yangu.
Ulijiita mkutano?
Kajiita ka meeting kidogo. Nikapata nimeandika hapo ka song ka huruma hivi, unaanzanga na ka song ka huruma hivi. Alafu kanakuja watu wanasema
ulianza na wimbo ya huruma. Unaweza kumbuka the lyrics? Ama ni nini ulikuwa na wazi hiyo wakati? Matatizo.
Utaanza na shida, utaanza na kitu kingine. Nilikuwa naimba yani kama kalongolongo. Kweli hakuna kitu kibaya kama matatizo bana yananizingua. So ilikuwa tu ni ka flow tu kako hivi tu, lakini kalikuwa kanashika hizo hizi.
Now how did you get to Nairobi? Kwa sababu most of your tracks umezifanyia hapa Nairobi.
Yeah.
And you stay in Nakuru. We'll get back to Nakuru in a few minutes. Lakini your transition ulijipataje
Nairobi? Ni place ambao nimekaa pia kwa sana before niende huko kwenye niko kwa sasa. Nimekaa huku sana and waimbaji wengi wanafuatilia wako huku, process ya wasanii wengi wamegrow wako huku, wanasonga. Nairobi is a city, it's a big city, ndio center ya kila kitu. So inabidi uende utafute.
Lakini vile umesema Nakuru kuna mastaa. So kwa nini ungesema acha nianzie hapa Nakuru, Nairobi itakuja baadaye?
Okay, nimeanzia pale, but you know kuna kitu natafuta. na hicho kitu ambacho unatafuta unapata ni ngumu kukipata huko. Or wale ambao wako na hicho kitu ambacho unatafuta walikuwa huko wamesonga, wamekuja Nairobi. Unajua utawafuata.
Umesema mara kadhaa kuna kitu fulani unatafuta. Ni nini hiyo?
Watu ambao nimekaa nao wamenifunza kufanya kazi safi. Ambao hata nikikuletea wewe utaikubali. Na sisemi huko tufanye kazi.
Ndio nilikuwa nataka nikuulize kwa leo unasema na
kupeleka huko I just think I need something great, something kitu kali tu, and sijapatana na mtu labda atanipatia taste yangu, taste sana. Watu ambao wako na taste yangu maybe sijapatana nao huko. Ndio.
In terms of now production.
Yeah, production, kazi nafanya, video, audio, lazima uwiano. Tukue mimi na wewe yani tunaelewana, unielewe. Usiniambie tu hapa ujeimba vizuri, ungeimba hivi, lakini pia unielewe niko na nini nataka kutoa. Alafu nasikiza na unanisikiza.
I love the full painting kabla mwanzo kuchora.
And that is music.
Nimekupata. Now nataka kabla tuendelee na maybe the challenges zenye umeface especially after coming all the way from Nakuru to Nairobi. Let's go back to Nakuru.
Yes.
Umeriziwa na Shush. Let's talk about Shush. Shush anasemaje about the music?
Actually, Nakuru ndo uweze linganisha na Nakuru. You spend a lot. Kwa sababu si producer mmoja atafanya hiyo kazi. Yote back tuseme labda Nakuru ama producer wengine atakufanyia kazi.
It's very tricky. Tumeona watu wanakuja juu ya kiki.
Kweli.
Wewe unaonaje hiyo situation?
Wasanii ni wengi pia. So kila mtu anatafuta mbinu ya kutokea. Anatafuta kitu ambacho atafanya abaki pale, labda maintain, atokee pale. So I'll say ukiwa kwa gospel, I think your kiki, there is something kama kiki huko, people are doing it, but it's not supposed to be that ambayo watu wanashtuka na wewe kidogo. Mimi nakuja na kiti, but sio kiki ambayo itadhuru mtu. Nakuja na kiti. Siku moja maybe hiyo kiti nikifanya kila siku, si unaona? Itakuwa kitu mbaya kwa watu pale mbele. So I think ni strategy ya kutokea, kwa sababu waimbaji ni wengi. It's hard kutokea. Watu wanaimba huku nje.
Lakini mtu angeona ni
babu. Wajua kwa Mungu utanyenyekea kwanza, urudi chini, then you need patience. You have to be humble. Lazima utulie. Mungu kwa wakati wake, mambo yake. So mambo ya Mungu yanaenda na utaratibu wake. So sidhani kama huku nje ndo kuforce. Sekilo una force vitu. Kaende. Tuende tukisonga. I feel hivyo.
Hata nikuulize kabla uendelee.
Yes.
Usiogope kusema. Vile umesema secular ndio watu wana force. Ni nini umeona ikakuudhi?
Vile wenye wana force vitu alafu inaniudhi. Sawa basi haina issue. I think kuna wasanii ambao walikuwa maybe kwa gospel, si ndio? Alafu wamesonga wamefika mahali maybe wakaona mambo ya Mungu. Sometimes Mungu akisema ngoja unatulia, labda amefeel hivyo, amezungumziwa hivyo, maybe wana switch, wanaingia into secular, you see. So they start kuforce vitu na kiki zingine, like unajua jamaa labda alini-inspire. Alini-inspire mahali nikianza. So unapata they are inspiring watu, then all of a sudden wanaanza kuforce vitu vingine tu ambao havikuwa vyao.
So kama nani?
tunawajua tu, lakini yote sawa.
Yote sawa. Asante sana. Now there's amekuwa kwangu.
Yes.
Let's talk about that, because that's your first music video.
Yeah.
Your feeling ya kuona kazi yako ndio inakuwa appreciated. Ulikuwa na feel aje? Niambie your feeling. Did you feel accomplishment? Feel unataka sasa zaidi? Nini ilikuwa na go through your mind your time?
Tukifanya hiyo song, actually we did pray a lot. Tulikuwa tunapray, tunafanya video, tunachukua shots kidogo, tena tunapray, tena tunarudi. I felt like ni song ya kwanza, lakini I felt like itanifikisha mahali. So when we released, kulikuwa na time ya corona, ndio ilikuwa imeshika sana. Unaona? tukatoa all of a sudden kukafungwa. So huwezi kuja Nairobi, huwezi kuja mahali popote, huwezi fanya. But nilipenda kwa sababu watu walikuwa wananiuliza, hey, mambo, tumeona hii song ni poa sana, unaweza tokea? And then like niko Nakuru, ama watu wengine wananiambia ni aje tunaweza taka kuja event nini, niko Nakuru kumefungwa, siwezi toka. Watu walikuwa wananihitaji, nilikuwa na feel watu na appreciate sana, na ni song ya kwanza, something ambayo ni mambo ya Mungu tu, sio kitu rahisi na wimbo wa kwanza. So ilinipatia psyche, ikanipatia nguvu ya kutaka kufanya kazi nyingine haraka sana.
Lakini kulikuwa na hiyo duration vile umesema, lockdown ndio ilikuwa inaendelea.
Yeah.
Kuna nini ilikupatia motivation ukasema acha kwanza ningoje? Kwa sababu naona ilikuwa 2 years ago ya kwanza. Alafu ilikuwa like a year later ndio uliweza kufanya ya pili. In between nini ilikuwa inakupatia motivation sema lazima ndaendelea na Kenya nimeanzisha?
Ile ilikuwa sasa ishatoka iko nje. Alafu sasa ndio napata support yake kwa sana. Alafu ni kitu moja. So unajua hata wewe utachoka kusikiza kitu moja. So watu walikuwa wanahitaji zaidi. Na watu washaanza kunipata, washaanza kunifuatilia. But wananifuatilia naona huyu jamaa ana kazi moja tu. Huyu jamaa ana kazi nyingine. So unaona. So I felt like wacha nitoe nyingine, nibariki watu. Wacha nitoe nyingine, watu wazidi kunifuatilia kujua nasema nini. Unaona. So hiyo moja, one is not enough. I had to do. Kwa sababu ile kule inatembea. Sasa inatembea moja, sinisindikisha na nyingine.
Sasa hivi vile ziko hapo mbele, najua sasa hata ndio nataka nyingine ya tatu sasa.
Sasa ya tatu kwanza inakuja. Inakuja sana.
Moto ile pasi ile.
Ai, wangoje. Sana.
So what's in store for Mr. Chairman? Is there an EP? Is there an album?
No, hakuna EP. Kuna album.
As they enjoy their tea.
Yeah.
Ni nini unaweza taka kuambia watu kwa zile changamoto zote zenye umepitia? Nini umelearn na ni nini unaweza taka watu wabebe as they go about their day to day?
You have talent. Uko na talent pale nje. Kuna watu wengine wako na talent, washaanza kuzitoa, kujifanyisha kazi fulani 2 3. Kuna wale ambao wako nazo hawaja discover. Sometimes you need to discover yourself. People don't know that. Unafaa kujidiscover sometimes. Hey, kumbe mimi ni msanii, kumbe mimi naweza imba. Na people you relate with pia wanaweza kuambia, na you can sing, you can dance, you can do this, unaweza. So unafaa usipende comfort zone. Comfort zone sio poa. Jipatie challenges, usiavoid challenges. Watu wengi wanasema kwenda kurecord itanicost hela nyingi, kwenda kufanya video itanicost hela nyingi, ama kwenda kufanya kitu fulani. Mimi nikifanya meko kwangu, a story short, nilikuwa natoka town naenda home mguu kila siku. Sina pesa, sina sapa, sina kitu ya kukula. Nenda kwa hiyo sijakula kitu. Na actually I was supposed to pay rent, lakini nikamwambia kiateka, raundi tumecheleweshwa mshahara. Ni kumbe mimi naenda kufanya video. Naenda kupiga video kali pale. So hizo challenges ndo zimefanya nimegrow. Ndo zimefanya nimesonga. Usiavoid, usihepe. Hiyo njia unafaa kuzipita, and then ukishapita unakuwa strong. You need to face your challenges. Usiziwache. Ziko pale, ziko parking, zinajazana. So pita one by one ukisonga. And again, talent ambayo umepatiwa, it's a gift from God. So Mungu amekupatia zawadi. So na wewe unafaa kumzawadi. So remember always what you do with your talent ndio gift ambao unarudishia Mungu. Whatever you do with your talent, it's the gift you are giving back to God. So what are you giving back to God?
Yeah. It's a powerful message.
Asante.
Watu wanaweza kupata wapi on social media waweze kusupport your music?
YouTube sana. I need you to subscribe. It is helping me a lot sana ukisubscribe. And ni Mr. Chairman 254. Yule jamaa wa kiti. Si chairman wa chama chote ama ni yule jamaa wa kiti. Mr. Chairman 254. Ukiweka 254, it is only me. Kwenye YouTube pale, you subscribe, you share. Alafu mitandao ingine, Insta, Facebook, Twitter, it is Mr. Chairman 254 everywhere you go. Hata mtu akikuuliza sema Mr. Chairman 254.
Nasema Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming through.
Nashukuru sana.
Kabla uende, kuna swali lazima nikuulize, being an election year, na your name being Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Wasanii wale umeona wanataka kuvie for seats.
Yes.
What do you think about that? Kuna wale wanasema don't you use your popularity like that. Kuna wengine wanasema use your popularity like that. So wewe unasimama upande gani?
If you are born a leader, you can always be a leader. Hakuna mtu atakusimamisha. Sisi umekuwa shuleni, mimi nilikuwa msanii shuleni, ile usanii ya shule na bado nilikuwa prefect. I was a leader. Kuna watu walikuwa ma head boy nini. So huku nje umegrow, you are still an artist, when comedian, tunawaona wengi. So there is a leadership pia inside you. Apart from talent nini, what can you do? What else can you do? Can you be a leader? Can you be politician? You can as well do everything. Mimi ni msanii, mimi ni MC. You see? But hapo mbele, maybe you need to discover yourself. What else can you do? People are discovering, hey, naweza kuwa politician. So I support them. Go for it. It is good.
Na hata nikuuliza because like you said, you're born a leader and you know you have it within yourself. Vile umesema in the future, who knows?
Yeah,
do you know? Would you? Are there plans?
Mr. Chairman. Lakini kwangu mimi ni chairman tule wa kuja na kiti tu kuperform. Sidhani kama nina viwango hivyo. But kama Mungu utanifungulia ufunuo niweze kujua. Then ni sawa. Ni sawa.
Thank you so much for coming through. Mr. Chairman amesema unaweza mpata at Mr. Chairman 254. That's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Subscribe, that's the best way to show your support and make sure pia bado una link up naye kwa social media platforms au vipi?
Kabisa yani.
I hope si ati una blue tick watu kwa DM na tunaambia wakuje.
Kwa nini? Lakini zungumza na mimi poa. Ukizungumza vitu kuna watu ambao wanaweza fanya labda wa blue tick, labda haja kuambia kitu ambacho kinaendana sawa na wewe. Let's relate, tusaidiane. Ndio pia na mimi nikuzungumzie. Lakini mimi si naringia nini kwa Mungu, mimi nimetulia tu.
Nice. Safi kabisa. We'll be back after this.
Changes, technologies grow, and so you need to be in the know.
We are looking into matters, technology and education.
We bring you tech news from all over the world.
Me, I understand science revolves around life.
Tech policies and programs, Take on Tech has your back. Coming to your screens every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1. Join me, Stephanie Ayeta and Grace Gidaiga as we serve you with only the best tech updates the world over.
Najua nilikukosea kukuleta kwa babako bila kutaka kwako.
Badizo yule mwanamke ni sumu. Yule Kate ni sumu ndani ya nyumba, mimi nakwambia.
Siku hizi tabia yako imezidi badala ya kupungua.
Bado kuna uadui mkubwa sana kati yetu ambao unahitaji suluhisho.
Wewe wataka nimwambie nani?
Mpoteze kitoto ambaye ile utakula wewe mwenyewe.
Leo, si ndio wewe ulikuwa unataka nyumba yako ama?
I've drafted the contract. You just need to sign it. Why? I'm an excellent beautician. Why is no one willing to hire me? The worst thing is, some of them are my old friends.
I want to hire her. I'll let her work in Venus again, doing the lowest job so I can insult her.
Give us a minute. I have something to say to Miss Gao.
Dad.
You leave too.
Oh.
luz por una sombra de traición. Dios de dolor. Lying Hearts. Fue sembrando el veneno y la ambición.
This is Good Morning Kenya, being April 14th, 2022, when UDA, if you like, UDA is carrying out its party primaries. We have our reporters in various parts of the country just to give us, or rather bring us up to speed with what is happening on ground. Remember, they had said that, you know, these centers where these party nominations are going to be taking place opened their doors at 7 a.m. to close at 5 p.m. We want to take you to Uasin Gishu County, where we have our reporter, John Jacob Kuria, who is keeping tabs on things down there. Good morning, Kuria. How are you? Well, it seems Kuria is not ready with that, but remember, we have him down there in Uasin Gishu County, and we expect quite a showdown in Uasin Gishu County, where we are having 7 aspirants for the governor ticket there under UDA, including top names, household names, so to speak. We have the former Kenya's ambassador to Pakistan, Julius Bitok. We also have Ms. Sarah Serem, known for being in the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, as well as an ambassador to China. We also have Soy MP Caleb Kostani in that particular race, Jonathan B., former Nairobi County Executive Member, Veska Kangogo, and Mr. David Singoy and Solomon Kiptarbe. Remember, this is hotly contested. We also know that we have various reporters also in Embu and Meru. Specifically in Embu, there are some protests were recorded yesterday evening with some of the ballot boxes there allegedly destroyed there. But we're going to be keeping tabs on Embu County now. As I mentioned earlier, we are in Uasin Gishu County with John Jacob Kuria there, who is coming live from a racecourse ward. JJ, good morning. How are things down there in Uasin Gishu?
Good morning to you, Regina. From Broadcasting House. Indeed, we're coming to you live from Racecourse Ward, Racecourse Primary School in Uasin Gishu County. The UDA primaries are about to kick off in this polling center to separate the boos that are fighting for the major positions in Uasin Gishu County. We're talking about the gubernatorial seat, the senatorial seat, the woman rep seat, the MPs positions in the entire county, as well as the members of the county assemblies. Now, you will remember that Uasin Gishu County is home to the party leader of the UDA party, that is Dr. William Ruto, who is the party leader of the UDA party. This is his home county, that is Uasin Gishu County. Now, this exercise kicked off just about minutes ago. Obviously, a bit late, if you would say so, because this exercise was supposed to kick off early, around 7 a.m. But then again, it's 4 minutes past 9, and that means then that this exercise is late. Normal practice has been reported so far, obviously, because this has started like about 2 minutes ago. So there's normal practice so far, like what we've seen from other areas, stories of pre-marked ballots that is yet to be witnessed here. But of course, as you can see, voters in earnest, and obviously streaming in their numbers to choose who will fly the UDA flag in terms of the gubernatorial race in Uasin Gishu, the senatorial race in this county, the woman rep position, and the MP positions in this county, as well as MCAs around Uasin Gishu county. So I'll take you just in a bit so that you have a feeling, Regina, of what this exercise looks like. The line snakes from way up until to the polling center, and slowly I will take you in so you get to see how the exercise is ongoing. The ballot papers, according to the UDA party, are serialized. Serialized to mean they have special security features in the sense that it's not possible, according to UDA, not according to us, it is not possible to rig this exercise. So I'll just pass around here, see if there's anything ongoing in this room, so that we just, have a feel about this entire process. Here we are, and a display of what the ballot paper will be looking like this morning. And agents of different candidates, being shown through what the ballot will be looking like. This is how the ballot paper looks like. The UDA primaries in Race Course Ward. So this is just, what you would call ensuring that there's a bit of order amongst all aspirants and their agents. Let me take you again so you see the ballot papers here. Those are the ballot papers. So obviously, if you will be marking against your candidate, all the agents there have been shown through the entire ballot paper. The gubernatorial one, the senatorial, there's MCA, there's MP positions, and that's how the ballot paper will be looking like. Now, when you turn to the ballot boxes, the ballot boxes are all indicated UDA, and of course bearing the colors of the UDA party.
Any protest or malpractice in this particular exercise down there in Uasin Gishu County?
I'm sure there's one for governor, there's another for, yes, here you are, governor, senator, member of parliament. Again, you have the woman reposition, and finally the MCA. That's how the ballot box looks like. So this exercise will last up until 5 p.m. When there's an expected tally of the votes in this governor's box, senator's box, MP's box, woman rep's box, and MCA. And then probably after 5 p.m. we'll be able to know who is going to fly the UDA ticket in terms of the governor position in Uasin Gishu County, senator position, MP position, the woman rep position, as well as the MCA position. So if I could just get, a moment to talk to some of the voters here and, have a feeling, a bit of it, of how they feel about the exercise. So we'll just exit from the polling center and probably go to the line and get to interact with a few of them. Get to know, understand and have a feel about this entire exercise and how it's going. You'll forgive me if you have flying shots on air because we are moving. We are on the move as we, explain to you how things are going. So I'll pick them randomly. If I pick you, unatuambia jina, habari yako?
Mzuri. Kwa majina naitwa Trufena. Oka.
Yes. Umetokea hapo kufanya?
Nimekuja kupiga kura.
Na unasikiaje so far kuhusu shughuli hii?
Iko sawa.
Iko sawa. Sasa mzee, tuambie jina.
Majina naitwa Elias Tuwe. Nimekuja kupiga kura, ngawaje wamechelewa kidogo, lakini tunasubiri na tunaendelea. Tunaamini tunafanya kura ya amani na tutachagua wenye tunahitaji.
Unafikiri mwisho kura itakuwa ya sawa?
Mwisho kura itakuwa sawa. Itakuwa sawa. Tunaamini hivyo.
Haya. Mzee, tuambie jina.
Daniel Gine. Tunakuja kupiga kura.
Mmechelewa, sijui malalamiko kama mnayo.
Mmechelewa? Leo kwa gashidu.
Mnataka kumaliza mwende kazi zenu.
Kwa majina naitwa Nicholas Kanyinginyi. Niko hapa kwa kupiga kura. Nataka tufanye kura ya amani na upendo. Na isikuwe na mambo ya virika ya mambo ingine. Tunataka yule tunachagua awe ni ameenda kisasawa. Hivyo ndio tunataka. Na ingawa tumechelewa, lakini tutapambana tufanye nini? Tupige kura.
Mtakaa kwa line.
Tutakaa kwa line.
Haya, mama tuambie jina haraka.
Okay, kwa majina naitwa Jane Night Nyongesa. Basi tumetarajia hii kura kwa hamu na gamu, Nimeingia hapa saa 12. Yaani tumemisi hii kura. Tunataka tuingize watu. Yaani kwa matarajio. Wacha tutarajie. Wacha tuende tuingize. Asante.
Haya, mara mwisho mama.
Majina naitwa Jessica, mkaaji wa Rescos. Tuna imani kura tutafanya kwa uadilifu na kwa amani. Ingawaje tumechelewa kidogo lakini tutaenda sawa.
Haya, mzee unaitwa nani?
Abraham Imbugwa. Nafurahi sana kuja kupiga kura na iwe ni amani na tuombe Mungu mbele watu yetu waende.
Alright. Asante sana. Kura ya amani. Naona mama anataka kuongea hapa. Nisimwache nyuma kidogo. Haya, haraka.
Tumashukuru watu wa KBC kwa kufika on time. Although ballot papers ilichelewa materials, we hope next time you guys will be prepared to bring us early enough so that we can do other things. You see now the life is very hard. Masiwa ya packet moja 500 ml is going at 100 shillings. I don't know where our president is seeing. I don't know whether he is aware that Kenyans are suffering down here. If you are elected or nominated, please weka umoja mbele. Sisi wote ni wa Kenya. Tunataka leadership ambayo ni accountable. Mambo ya corruption tuimalize nje. Na hata tukipanga laini usirukeruke because it starts from here. Yes? So you are so much welcome. God bless you. Yeah, we are here for the task.
Asante. Mama mwisho.
Kwa majina naitwa Alice Anyula. Nimekuja hapa saa 11 na nimefurahia hii kura ikuwe ya amani, tuishi kwa amani, kila mtu akuwe na shughuli zake. Ni hayo.
Asante. Mama unataka kusema kitu?
Bwana, hata mimi nashukuru kwa ajili ya siku ya leo. Nashukuru kwa ajili ya watu wa KCB. Kwa kufika mapema. Mimi nimekuja mapema hapa. Tunahitaji amani na upendo. Nchi yetu iendelee.
Asante. That is it. As you can generally get the feel, Regina Manyara, obviously you can see the enthusiasm, with the voters ready to participate in these nominations. Regina.
The voters down there are saying that they want to have a transparent and free exercise there. They're also nominating persons that they think are of high integrity. And the question about the cost of living has just come out there. But before we digress and talk about, what Kenyans have to say in as far as matters of, the finance bill and high cost of living, one of your interviewees down there, Curia, has raised the issue about the delay in ballot boxes. With what happened yesterday in Embu County, have you observed any other anomaly to this process from yesterday night to this morning?
Nothing so far reported in Uasin Gishu County. Things have been silent a bit, if you would say so. But then again, the day is young. You don't know what will happen in between now and 5 p.m. But so far, no anomalies reported. But again, anomaly, begins from the preparation and the process itself. This process was supposed to kick about 3 hours ago. Now it's 9:17. It's when they're about, to kick off the exercise. That is an anomaly in a way, in terms of delay, because all these people, finally, when the day closes, they need to go back to their businesses after participating in these nominations. Regina.
Thank you very much, Curia, for that brief from Uasin Gishu County. We will be keeping tabs on what is happening in the various counties where we have our various reporters on ground to bring us up to speed with the party nominations. Remember, we are in Meru, Uasin Gishu County, Embu County, Baringo, Kiambu, as well as Kericho, Nandi, and Bomet. We're already seeing all our viewers on social media platforms giving in their views in regard to this particular exercise that began this morning, and the exercise should terminate at 5 p.m. We're going to be going to various counties. As I mentioned there, we have various reporters stationed across the counties. Uasin Gishu County there, just to give you a quick summary, is where we expect quite a showdown, and it attracts a lot of attention because this is William Ruto's background. Now, Timothy Kipnusu, how are things in Nandi County?
A very good morning to you, Regina Manyara, back in the broadcasting house in Nairobi. Yes, indeed, as you mentioned, I am in the county of Nandi, the county number 029, one of the counties also that is actually participating in the nomination process of the United Democratic Alliance Party. And I'm in one of the polling stations designated for the IBC to conduct the August 9th polls gazetted by IBC. That is a Nandi primary polling station, just a few meters from Kapsabet town, just to have a feel of this particular exercise in Nandi County. We were here very early in the morning, but many residents had arrived, or voters had arrived, but the polling papers and the exercise had not yet begun, and a number of them had poured their frustrations about this particular process for the process. It delayed a bit, but as we are speaking, the process is continuing. As you can see, a number of them are in the queue just to exercise their democratic right to elect whoever they wish to fly the UDA ticket in the August 9 polls. And Regina, this particular contest, it's a hotly contested seat, particularly for the governor's position. A political showdown is looming, bearing in mind that the incumbent governor, Stephen Arap Sang, is seeking to defend a seat. Remember, Stephen Sang was one of the governors that was elected, youngest governor in Kenya, having been elected in 2017 when he was only 32 years. And also, he made history having been elected as the senator of this particular county when he was 28 years. So he will be battling out with a number of aspirants who are seeking this position, including his predecessor, that is Cleophas Lagat, famously known as Chematel. And of course, Chematel has come with a narrative that he wants to complete the project that he started, bearing in mind that a number of questions have been rising about the current governor not continuing with those particular projects. Also, we have a Nairobi-based lawyer, that is Alan Kosgei, who happens also to be the son of one of the powerful cabinet minister in the docket of industrialization who was in the regime of President Daniel Torres Moi, the retired President Daniel Moi, that is Henry Kosgei. And of course, also have a two-time member of parliament in Embu constituency, that is Elijah Lagat. And of course, we also have the staff of the Kenya Pipeline Company, that is Antipas Atirop. And after trying to have a conversation with a number of residents, it appears it's like a three-horse race. The incumbent governor, Stephen Arap Sang, and of course his predecessor, Cleophas Lagat, and the son to the former powerful minister, that is Alan Kosgei. Just a sneak preview about this particular county. We have 6 constituencies that is going to the polls this particular day. Of course, ruling out Nandi Hills constituency. Bear in mind that there was an accident or witness. One of the aspirants called Wesley Kibet, famously known as Stinget, got a very fatal accident, and the people in charge of this particular exercise postponed. The National Election Board postponed that particular exercise to 19th. But the 5 constituency of Mgwen, of course, we also have Tinderet constituency, we have Mosoriot constituency, we also have Chesumei. Where we are is actually Chesumei, and the Wilson Kogo, who is the current member of parliament, is seeking to defend a seat in this particular poll. So he will be looking forward to get an okay from residents who are going to vote here. You'll be battling out with a number of people here who also want to unseat him in that particular position. A very interesting thing, Regina, to note is that also in the senatorial position, Samson Cherigay is experiencing a very tough battle. We have the member of parliament, the current member of parliament for Mgwen, that is Alex Kosgei, is also the son of the powerful minister, the Henry Kosgei. So we have 2 brothers who are seeking to get a ticket from a UDA ticket in this particular county, that is Alan Kosgei in the gubernatorial position, and of course also we have Alex Alexander Kosgei. So Samson Cherargei will be battling out with Alex Kosgei. Also, we also have the women reposition. We do not have a tough battle for that matter, bearing in mind that the incumbent is not longer seeking to be re-elected in that particular position. She is actually vying for the Mgwen seat, that is Dr. Tekla Tum. And of course, the first women representative, Zipporah Kering, also will be battling out with the Tekla Tum. So as we are speaking, residents are actually voting. Just to have a feel of this particular exercise, I'm joined by one lady here. Habari yako, pengine ulifika hapa sangapi na tayari umeshapiga kura au bado?
Habari yangu ni mzuri. Ninashukuru, isipokuwa tulifika hapa very early in the morning by 6. Tumekaa sana, all of a sudden ndio wametuletea ballots. But we have a peaceful voting. Hatuna rapsha hapa. Mimi tayari nishapiga kura. I'm okay. I'm done. Yeah.
Pengine unataraji unaposhiriki zoezi hili unataraji viongozi wa aina gani hasa katika zoezi hili watakaochaguliwa na waweze kushiriki katika zoezi la uchaguzi Agosti 9?
Tunaomba tuchague wale viongozi wanawajibika. Wenye wanajua shida zetu mashinani venye tunapitia. Hatutaki wenye tuchague wenye tukishawachagua they forget all about us. They are just on their own. Tunataka wenye watatuletea maendeleo. We need bursaries, we need water, we need electricity. Yeah. And there are so many people needy at the ground. So tunaomba wawajibike. Yeah.
Kuhusiana na usemi wake naibu rais hapo jana alipotoa taarifa kuhusiana na wale wawaniaji ambao watawania, baadhi ya wanawake vile vile wamejitosa ulingoni. Wewe ni mwanamke, pengine ni wakati wa kuchangamkia wanawake katika nyadhifa za uongozi?
Of course, yes. Yeah. Inabidi tuwajibikie hao, tuwapiganie. We need the women to be participated. Yeah.
Asante. Pengine ni muhusishe mwingine hapa, one of the residents. Unaitwa nani na ulifika hapa sangapi na pengine matarajio yako ni yapi?
Kwa majina naitwa Calvin Kiplagat Biama na nimefika hapa saa 12 asubuhi. Na matarajio yangu ni kwamba tufanye uchaguzi wa nominations kwa haki na tuchague viongozi ambao watatufanyia kazi.
Pengine tukio ambalo lilitokea hapo jana lilikuwa la kusikitisha, la japo hatujaona matukio kama hayo hapa katika gatuzi la Nandi. Pengine wito wako kwa wale ambao watashiriki katika zoezi hili na hata wale waniaji tofauti katika kuhakikisha kwamba zoezi hili linakuwa la amani?
Maoni yangu ni kwamba kama watu tutafanya uchaguzi huu, watu wakuwe tufanye uchaguzi wa amani, kwa sababu uchaguzi utakuja na utaondoka, na tutakaa kwa miaka 5 tukiwa kama Wakenya na tuendelee kupendana. Mambo ya vurugu, mambo ya kuleta shida, tungeomba wananchi tukue kwa amani, tukae na amani na tukae pamoja na tuendelee kupendana.
Asante. There you have it, Regina. Two of the residents who are they actually those are some of the people who have given their sentiments. Yes, Regina.
Thank you very much, Timothy Kipnusu, for that brief on what is happening down there in Nandi County. You've given us who are going to be contesting and why this is going to be a highly contested voting as far as the party primaries are concerned, with now the governor's seat they're having or attracting 6 persons. Now, quick one before, what have you observed, Timothy, in as far as, the matter or rather the process being seamless? What would you say you have observed from yesterday night to this morning?
Regina, from yesterday when we were here, a number of them were residents that we managed to talk to. They were a bit of skeptical about this particular process because of what happened in Embu and Nakuru, the skirmishes that were witnessed, ballot papers banned. But a number of them trickled very early in the morning, saying whatever the case, they have to participate in this particular process to have good leaders who are focused, leaders who are development oriented. And about the process is that the process is going on well. We have not experienced any hitches so far. People are voting and coming out of this of the queues, and you can see it is very calm here in Nandi County. Also, security has been beefed up to the latter just to ensure that this process is seamless. Regina.
Thank you very much, Timothy Kipnosi, for that update. Be on ground. We're going to be looking at what is happening in as far as the UDA nominations are concerned. Remember, the party has promised Kenyans that this is going to be a seamless exercise and with a lot of transparency and accountability. Currently, we have our reporters spread across various counties, including Bomet. There is Timothy Kipnosi, who is Nandi, and earlier on, we had John Jacob Keria from Uasin Gishu. Now we want to take you more or less to the mountain. As we started off matters of politics, the conversation around now the mountain that is within areas of Mount Kenya, the Meru, Embu, being referred to as a vote-rich region. Now, we had yesterday reports that, there were a few protests that were recorded in Embu County. And we have our reporter, Kamche Maza, there, who is on ground to bring us up to speed from those reports that were made yesterday, with some ballot papers said to have been destroyed and such. Has that changed the time that the nominations was to start? Remember, it was to start at 7 a.m. to close its doors at 5 p.m. to give time for tallying. And what are the aspirants saying about this particular process? We're going to be joined by Kamche Maza in not too long to bring us up to speed in regard to what is happening down in Embu County. So, Kamche Maza, if you can hear me, good morning. What is the situation down in Embu County? Well, it seems that she's still trying to get a good position so that she can adequately brief us on what is going on. We have our reporters also in Baringo, Kiambu, Kericho, Bomet. We've already tackled Nandi as of this morning and Uasin Gishu. Kamche, I understand you're good and ready. Good morning. Bring us up to speed with what is happening in Embu County.
Good morning to you, Regina Manyara, back there in studio. Like you said, we are here in Embu County, in Embu Town, and where we are specifically is the Moi Stadium. This is one of the polling stations that had been set out for this particular nomination exercise for the UDA party. This morning, the exercise was meant to begin from around 6 a.m. We were here during that particular time, but there was no any activity happening at that time. And of course, as you can see behind me, there are some of the party members here who have come to cast their vote this morning following that particular exercise. As the cameraman pans, that is the entrance of this particular stadium. Outside, there are people standing there. Of course, inside also there are few small groups standing inside the stadium. But basically what is happening is that these people are waiting for the exercise to start. As we speak now, it's about 9:30, but the exercise has not started yet. And a spot check that we did since morning, or rather since early this morning, is that a number of the polling stations, this particular exercise has not started, and it's not unique to this particular stadium or to this particular polling station, but actually it's in most parts of the polling stations within this county. So basically what is happening here is that supporters are out here, or members of the party are out here, are waiting for the ballot boxes to come. Remember what happened last evening, that the ballot materials were set ablaze within Embu town here. That is last evening. So basically, Regina, without much ado, I'll talk to some of the supporters who were here since early in the morning, around 6:36 this morning, and but they have not been able to participate in this particular exercise. There is a lady who told me actually she has a young boy. A young boy that she brought along, hoping that she'll be able to participate in this exercise earlier and go back home. But up until now, nothing has happened. So let me just bring her on board to tell us her experience this morning. Karibu sana mama. Pengine utuanze tu kwa jina lako. Umefika hapa asubuhi, ulikuwa unatarajia kupata kwamba zoezi limeanza, ufanye zoezi hilo alafu uendeza kwa nyumbani. Pengine tueleze kuanzia asubuhi hadi saa hizi ni kipi kimefanyika hapa?
Kwa majina naitwa Anja Kirinjoki. Kwanza nashangaa na niko na mshangao sababu nilifika hapa saa 12 na niko na mtoto mdogo, na hata si kuwa nimekunywa chai, hata mtoto kwa sasa hajakunywa uji, na nilikuja hapa mapema, hata huyo mwingine mtoto wako kwa nyumba, na nilikuwa nimepanga nikuje nipige kura, mimi nirudi nikashughulikia watoto, alafu hata kazi nikufunga nimefunga, ili sasa nikuja hapa ili nipige kura nirudi kwa kazi yangu. Kwa hivyo kwa sasa mimi nimeona kuna kuteseka, kwa sasa hatujui ni nini kinaendelea, hasa kwangu sijui ni nini kinaendelea. Kwa sasa sifai kuwa hapa, nimetumia masaa matatu kutoka hata mpaka saa hii ni saa 3 na sijui ni nini kinaendelea. Kwa hivyo mimi naomba tuhudumiwe haraka, ili at least mtu arudi kwa kazi yake, afanye chenye kinafaa, na ili aendelee na kutafuta kwa siku ya leo. Nashukuru.
Well, Regina, those are some of the sentiments that are being shared by so many of the people that you see out here.
Kamche, after yesterday's debacle there, who from ground would you say is likely, looking at, the hotly contested gubernatorial position as well as senator? What is the take down in Embu County? Because we had some allegations coming out with some protesters pointing fingers at rival camps. What do you have to say in regard to that matter?
Well, Regina, on that matter, we will have to confirm that matter much later when we get the authorities that can be able to actually shed more light on that. But of course, we understand that these nominations are not just for the MCAs. These are nominations for all the positions from MCA, MP, governor, and senator. The UDA is going to be fielding out those seats or those candidates from those particular seats, of course, except for the president. But we are yet to confirm what exactly happened. Because we, as we speak, we cannot confirm at this moment because it's information that we need to get from the authorities. But again, I'm joined by one of the supporters here. Let me just get a small interview, Regina, to get an insight of exactly what might be happening. Karibu. Pengine tuanzie kwa jina lako, cheo chako pengine, na utueleze mambo yanaendeleaje hapa.
Okay, well, I'm an activist here, political rights, and as well as civil rights. Okay, well, what I can see or we can understand is that there is something sinister which is happening because I don't understand a distance of 2 kilometers how ballot papers cannot be getting here for the last 3 hours. And as you know, people have been informed that by 7 a.m. everyone will be around and people will be able to vote for their candidates of their interest. But as things stand now, and as you can see, there is no ballot paper, there is no one who is, in fact, there is nobody, no one in relation to UDA, officials, or whichever way. So whatever is happening is something that is not clear with us. But as you know, yesterday there was an incident which again did not come out clearly what happened. But you saw some ballot paper being burned at Isaac, just at the gate, and maybe it can be one of the reasons as to why things are as they are now. Yes. But just have a look. You can see so many people are just walking around here waiting to vote for their individual candidates. So in one way or the other, I would urge the party operatives to come out clearly or come out quickly and tell us what is happening, or if not so, they bring those ballot papers and the ballot boxes so that the people can vote. I think these people are waiting to vote.
We have just heard that the ballot boxes are at Kangaroo Boys and they're about to be distributed. Have you gotten any information about that?
Whatever information you are getting is the same as the one I'm getting. But the only one question that is remaining in my mind is that how comes that a distance of 2 or 3 kilometers, ballot boxes cannot be arriving here in time? Just 3 kilometers. Hata kama mtu akiwekelea kwa kiande, kwa shoulder, si inaweza kufika tu hapa. So I don't understand what is all this. Yes, because Kangaroo is not far from where we are. It's just within the town environs. Yes.
All right, Regina, you heard it from the supporters of UDA here. They're out actually to cast their vote and, be able to pick out their favorite candidates. But the exercise has not begun. We have been told that the ballot boxes are close by at Kangaroo Boys and they're supposed to be distributed from that particular center to different polling stations. But as far as we are concerned, there have not been any dispatch at this particular point. So we are still waiting to see whether those ballot boxes will be here at any given time. Of course, we'll be updating our viewer from this particular end. Back to you in studio, Regina.
Thank you very much, Kamche, there from Embu County. I'm joined by Nancy Okware from Kiambu. Good morning, Nancy. Bring us up to speed with what is happening in Kiambu County.
Well, a very good morning to you, Regina Manyara. We are coming to you live from the Wangige Township Primary School right here in Kabete area of Kiambu County, where the UDA nominations kicked off early in the morning at around 6 a.m. And of course, right now, as we speak, members of the UDA party are actually lining up outside these classrooms just to cast their ballot. And the exercise, whatever is happening here, is that once they arrive, they actually meet the two clerks that are already there, and of course the first step is for them to present the national identification card. After verification, the clerk checks to ensure that they are indeed part of the register. After that, they move on to the second clerk, where they are given the ballot paper that is stamped just to show that it's legitimate. After that, they move on to a spot there where they are now allowed to tick and mark whatever candidate they are voting for. After ticking and marking the candidate of their choice, they then head towards the ballot boxes that are here. We do actually have the governor ballot box. We do have the women representative ballot box, as well as the member of the county assembly. Key to note is that the senatorial seat is actually, there is not a ballot box because they do have the direct ticket that was issued to radio journalist Karongo Wathangwa. That is after the Kiambu County Speaker, Stephen Disho, stepped down in his favor. For the Member of Parliament positions, we do have James Githua as the only candidate, or rather aspirant under UDA, as he went unopposed. I'll be speaking to some of the agents and of course one of the presiding officers just to get a feel of how the exercise has been like so far since it kicked off in the morning. Thank you so much for joining us. You're live on KBC Channel 1. Maybe you can tell us which candidate or aspirant you are representing today and how you feel the exercise has been like so far.
My name's Grace Wanjiko Aweru, alias Shiko. I'm here this morning as an agent, also as a voter. We are in Muguga Ward in Kiambu County. But nimekuja kusimamia agent wangu who is also an aspirant. His name is Peter Kamau Dhombe. He has been he is at the moment he is the
so far, how would you say the exercise has been? Like, has it been smooth so far?
It has run so well. There's no violence. The voters, they are not so many. The turnout has not been so good, but that is as usual. The turnout for nominations is always as low, like 30% to 40%.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. I'll be speaking to the presiding officer just to get a feel of how the turnout is like so far. Thank you for speaking to us. So far, how would you say the numbers are looking like?
Okay, the turnout is not so good, but we think it's because of the weather that in the morning the weather was a bit chilly. So we are anticipating that we are going to have more voters in the course of the day. So far, the registration not bad. 40 voters. So 40 voters have casted their ballots. So we are still hoping that more will come in the course of the day. Yeah.
Looking at the register, how many do you expect, to come and cast their ballot? How many have been registered so far?
We have 3,000 registered voters in this polling station. So normally, according to the previous nominations, we normally see half of the registered turning out or turning up for the nominations. So we are hoping, since we have 3,000 registered voters, so we are hoping we are going to have about 1,500 of the voters casting their ballots today.
But so far, you'd say the exercise has been smooth?
It has been smooth. We've had no incidences, no issues. So, Kenyans do rush the last minute. So we know that during, or rather in the evening, and also knowing that most of the people are at their workplaces. So we are hoping, or we think that in the evening we're going to have a higher turnout. Yep.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. That has been the presiding officer right here at the Wangige Township Primary School, telling us that so far they've only managed to have around 40 of the voters coming here to cast their ballot against 3,000 that have been registered at this polling station. But they do hope that as time goes by, more voters will be coming to cast their ballot in the UDA nominations. From here, we'll be moving to a number of polling centers just to assess the situation and, of course, look at be on location and on standby when the various aspirants will be arriving at the various polling centers to cast their ballots. For now, I hand it back to you, Regina Manyara, in studio.
In a nutshell, what should we expect from Kiambu County there, given that we expected that this is quite hotly contested? Who would you say in lugha ya politics, farasi ni wangapi Kiambu?
Well, looking at the gubernatorial seat, it is a race that has actually attracted a number of, opponents, including the current. We do have Ferdinand Waitito, who is the former governor, and of course we do have Kimani Wamatangi, who is also an ally of the Deputy President William Ruto, and we do have Patrick Wainaina, who is the Member of Parliament for Thika. So it's going to be a race that we'll have to sit out and watch, but it's going to be a tight race, and we will be getting the results later on in the evening when the polling centers close at around 6 p.m. Regina.
Thank you very much, Nancy Okware, for that brief on what is happening in Kiambu County. We're already seeing from our social media platforms that some delays have been cited in various polling stations there. One of them being Githunguri, where the exercise is yet to commence there, and some of the agents as well as persons in charge of that particular exercise are blaming the current weather for the delays. We're going to continue keeping tabs on what is happening in as far as the UDA nominations are concerned, and we invite your views. Our Twitter handle is at KBC, at KBC Channel 1. Mine is at Ray Manyara. So far, we have heard from Uasin Gishu County with John Jacob Courier from Racecourse. We have also heard from Kiambu County there, from Wangige, that is Nancy Okware, and we have Timothy Kipnusu, who was live from Nandi County there, and Kamche as well, telling us that though from Embu County, though the exercise was delayed, it is quite peaceful. According to persons in charge of the election in as far as UDA is concerned, they have come out and said that this is a process that they are aiming to be transparent and fair to all aspirants. From 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. we're going to be keeping tabs on that, and even when they get to tallying, we will be there to let you know who has carried the day. So keep it KBC Channel 1. I'm Regina Manyara, and this is Good Morning Kenya.
Fight for their love until the end.
Katika leo makala kutoka BBC yaliyomo tunadadisi jinsi ya kukabili gharama kubwa ya malipo ya biashara kutoka nchi moja hadi nyingine barani Afrika baadaye Ramadhani iliyoshamiri tofauti. Tunapigia kurunzi jinsi kupanda kwa bei za vyakula zinavyoathiri Ramadhani mwaka huu, kisha mahitaji mapya kwa makampuni ya kigeni uchimbaji madini nchini Ghana, huku serikali ikijaribu kuboresha sekta hiyo kwa kuleta usawa. Bashara kutoka Nairobi, Kenya, twende kazi. Masalam na karibu katika toleo la leo. Makala yanaangazia habari za biashara zinazokuhusu, uchambuzi wa kina na mahojiano. Ni Telinas Moshigadi. Huku Waislamu kote ulimwenguni wakiadhimisha mwezi mtukufu wa Ramadhan, kupanda kwa bei za vyakula na ufinyu wa bajeti kunazuia familia kufurahia milo wanayopendelea katika kipindi hiki. Ripoti ya kampuni ya ushauri ya Dina Standard inaonyesha kuwa matumizi ya Waislamu kwenye chakula yaliongezeka kwa asilimia 6.9 mwaka 2021 na kufikia dola trilioni 1.27, ongezeko hilo likichangiwa na mfumuko wa bei ambao umesababisha bei ya vyakula kupanda kote duniani. Sasa vita vinavyoendelea nchini Ukraine vinatishia kuzidisha hali hiyo. Mfano, chakula kama vile ngano ni chakula kikuu kwa Waislamu wengi wakati wa Ramadhan. Urusi ndio muuzaji mkubwa wa ngano duniani na Ukraine ya 5 kwa ukubwa, nchi zote mbili zikichukua jumla ya asilimia 30 ya mauzo ya ngano duniani. Mnamo mwaka 2021 Misri iliagiza asilimia 50 ya ngano kutoka Urusi, wakati Ukraine ikikidhi asilimia 30 ya mahitaji ya nafaka ya nchi hiyo. Ripoti ya uchumi wa Kiislamu duniani inatabiri kwamba Waislamu watatumia dola trilioni 1.67 trilioni kwenye chakula kufikia mwaka 2025. Je, hali halisi imekuwaje? Kupata kauli moja ya mfanyabiashara kutoka Wajir nchini Kenya.
Ukiangalia mwaka uliopita Ramadhani na wakati huu hali iko mbaya sana kwa ajili chakula ambayo watu wanatumia kwa siku imeenda juu. Kwa mfano kilo 25 wa sukari ilikuwa inauzwanga 2200, lakini kwa sasa inaenda mpaka 2700, saa zingine inaenda 3000. Sasa uchumi imekuwa mbaya tena, ile imezidi sisi wafugaji. Tulikuwa tunatumianga mifugo kuuza mifugo ndio tununue chakula. Saa hizi mifugo ziliisha na zile ndogo zilibaki hazina nguvu, zimeisha nguvu yote. Hakuna mtu hata ambaye anaileta soko kwa sababu hakuna mtu ananunua mbuzi ama ngamia ama ngombe ambaye zimekwisha. Haina uwezo yote, hata zingine kusimama inakuwa ngumu kwa ajili hakuna malisho na maji imekuwa ngumu na kiangazi imeenea zaidi.
Awali nimezungumza na Daktari Bravias Kayoza, mtafiti wa sera za kiuchumi. Nilianza kwa kumuuliza nini kinaifanya Ramadhani ya mwaka huu kuwa na utofauti. Tumsikize.
Kwa kweli huu moshi utakuwa ni mwaka ambao ni mgumu zaidi kwa kipindi cha miaka 6 iliyopita, kwa kuangalia nchi nyingi barani Afrika walau kwa kutumia takwimu za bodi za kutoa takwimu katika nchi hizo. Na hii ni kwa sababu kubwa mbili. Sababu ya kwanza ni mshtuko ndani ya chumi zenyewe ambao ulisababishwa na COVID-19 pamoja na masuala mengine ambayo yalikuwa yanatokea. Kwa hiyo chumi hizi zimekuwa zikitoka katika hali hiyo, lakini ghafla zikapata pigo au mshtuko wa pili kutoka nje ya uchumi, nao ni wa mgogoro kati ya taifa la Urusi pamoja na Ukraine ambao umesababisha sehemu kubwa sana ya mnyororo wa ugavi wa kusafirisha bidhaa kutoka mataifa mbalimbali, na hasa hayo kwa mfano zao la ngano na masuala ya mafuta, na hivi kwa pamoja vimechangia hali ya mdororo mkubwa, kuongezeka kwa gharama kubwa sana za mafuta ya kusafirishia mitambo, kuendeshea vitu, lakini gharama za vyakula hasa sukari mafuta ya kupikia pamoja na ngano, na hivi ni vitu muhimu sana katika kipindi kama hiki cha mwezi mtukufu wa Ramadhani.
Familia hizo zimeathirika kivipi haswa ili kuweza kutengeneza vyakula vyao vya iftar, ukiangalia kwamba vyakula hivyo vimepanda mno?
Kwa kweli familia hizi zinaathirika pakubwa sana, kwa sababu uwezo wao wa kutumia utakuwa unapungua, kwa sababu kumbuka katika nchi hizi viwango vya mishahara na mapato bado ni vidogo, na hivyo gharama zinapokuwa zinaongezeka kuliko mapato yao, uwezo wao wa kutumia unakuwa ni mdogo sana.
Tutarajie mbwembwe, bashasha hasa katika celebrations ama nini wakati wa Eid. Tutarajie ama mambo yatakuwa tofauti?
Kwa kawaida watu watajaribu kutafuta njia za kuweza kusherehekea Moshi, lakini hazitakuwa za kawaida kama ilivyo kawaida kwa siku zote. Zitakuwepo, lakini zitakuwepo kidogo sana, si kidogo sana, zitakuwepo lakini zitakuwa kidogo kilinganisha na hali ambavyo imekuwa, kwa sababu watu watakuwa wanachukua tahadhari. Hawajui baada ya sherehe hizi ni mambo gani hasa yataweza kuwa yanatokea, ukiachana na hali ngumu ambayo watakuwa wanapitia. Na kiuchumi kwa ujumla hii ina madhara, kwa sababu maana yake ni kwamba mzunguko wa fedha kwenye uchumi unaweza kuwa unaendelea kuathirika zaidi.
Na kwa sasa tupe macho taarifa zingine za biashara kutoka barani Afrika na kimataifa. Mchakato wa uchaguzi nchini Somalia unaingia katika awamu muhimu wiki hii baada ya wabunge wapya kuapishwa kabla ya kura ya urais. Nchi hiyo pia inakabiliwa na ukame unaotokana na misimu mitatu mfululizo ya mvua kushindwa kunyesha na kusababisha mazao kutofanikiwa, huku maelfu ya mifugo wakifa na kusababisha zaidi ya watu 700,000 kumradhi kuyahama makazi yao. Alafu taifa la Guinea imeipa ya hadi mwezi Mei kwa makampuni ya kigeni yanayochimba madini kuwasilisha mipango ya kina na ratiba zao za kuanzisha viwanda vya kuchakata bauxite nchini humo. Rais wa mpito Mamadi Bumoyu ameamuru mamlaka husika kufanya uchaguzi wa kandarasi za makampuni ya kigeni ya uchimbaji madini katika hatua ya kuleta usawa katika sekta hiyo. Aidha, Guinea ni taifa lilo na akiba kubwa ya madini ya bauxite duniani. Alafu mkurugenzi mtendaji wa kampuni ya Tesla na SpaceX Elon Musk amekatiza mpango wake wa kujiunga na bodi ya Twitter. Musk amefahamisha Twitter Jumamosi asubuhi kwamba hatochukua wadhifa huo. Mkurugenzi mtendaji wa Twitter Aragwal alitangaza hadharani kwamba Musk anasalia kuwa na hisa nyingi zaidi katika kampuni ya Twitter na kampuni itaendelea kuweka maanani maoni yake. Na hii ni mitikasi leo kutoka BBC, itakayoangazia hivi punde jinsi ya kukabili gharama kubwa ya kufanya biashara mipakani Afrika. Tusonge mbele. Gharama za juu za malipo kutoka nchi moja hadi nyingine barani Afrika imekuwa changamoto kuu kwa wafanyabiashara wanaonuia kunufaika na soko huru la biashara la Afrika AfCFTA. Hii ni kwa sababu zaidi ya 80% ya malipo yote ya kimataifa yanafanywa kwa benki za Afrika kufanikishwa kupitia benki za kigeni zinazotumia dola ya Marekani, pauni ya Uingereza na sarafu ya euro. Aidha, malipo huchukua takriban siku 14 kukamilika, lakini hii huenda likabadilika kufuatia utekelezaji wa mfumo wa kidijitali wa malipo ya pesa barani Afrika ambao unatarajiwa kupunguza gharama na hivyo kuokoa takriban dola bilioni 5 barani kila mwaka. Mfumo huo tayari umefanyiwa majaribio na benki 6 kuu katika maeneo ya magharibi mwa Afrika. Maeneo haya yakiwemo Nigeria, Gambia, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Ghana, Guinea, na kufikia sasa benki 12 za kibinafsi zimesajili katika mfumo huo pamoja na miamala 400 ya kifedha. Hii ni hatua muhimu kwa wafanyabiashara barani Afrika ambao zaidi ya sarafu 40 hutumika. Kwa sasa naungana naye Peter Wakaba kutoka kitengo cha BBC Biashara atujuze zaidi kuhusiana na swala hilo. Wakaba, labda ni changamoto gani za malipo ambazo wafanyabiashara hupitia wanapoagiza kutoka mataifa mengine barani Afrika?
Kwanza kabisa ni kwamba nchi nyingi na biashara nyingi zina uzoefu wa kutumia sarafu zile za G7, yani chumi zile 7 kubwa kabisa duniani, ikiwemo dola, ile ambao ni ya tuseme ya EU na nyingine kama hizo, ikiwemo pauni pia. Na uzoefu huu sasa unamaanisha ya kwamba benki ambazo zina uzoefu wa kutumia sarafu hizi zinaangalia sarafu za Kiafrika kama exotic ama zile ambazo hazina uzoefu wa kibiashara.
Na nini kifanyike ili mfumo wa malipo wa pamoja barani Afrika uweze kuafikiwa?
Kwanza ni ubunifu kama vile ambavyo ulivyosema ya kwamba Waafrika wenyewe waanze kutafuta mbinu za kubadilisha sarafu kati ya wao wenyewe na kupata uzoefu ili kuweza kuweka soko huru na matumizi ya sarafu hizi. Pili ni kuwa sarafu nyingi za Kiafrika si zile ambazo zinauzwa huru, bali bado zinashikiliwa kwa karibu sana na serikali, na kumudu huku kuna haribu soko, na hivyo kama hakuna soko lile ambalo ni halali na ni free market, basi hatutapata uzoefu wa matumizi.
Naam, shukran sana Wakaba. Tukiachana na hayo, baadhi ya wananchi kutoka maeneo mbalimbali nchini Tanzania wameeleza kuhusu kukabiliana na ongezeko la gharama na maisha kuwa magumu baada ya bei ya mafuta, petroli na diesel kuwa juu. Mamlaka ya udhibiti wa huduma za nishati na maji imesema kupanda kwa bei ya mafuta kumesababishwa na vita vinavyoendelea kati ya Urusi na Ukraine. Mwandishi wa BBC Abubakar Famau na taarifa zaidi kutoka Dodoma.
Ikiwa ni siku ya pili tangu kutangazwa kwa ongezeko la bei ya petroli, diesel na mafuta ya taa hapa nchini Tanzania, athari za ongezeko hilo tayari zimeanza kujitokeza miongoni mwa wananchi.
Maisha tu kimsingi yamepanda bei na kipaa na mzunguko wa pesa haupo. Manake bei kwa mfano ingepanda afu mzunguko wa pesa upo, ungekuwa hamna mtu angelalamika.
Baadhi ya kina mama wanaojishughulisha na uchuuzi wa bidhaa mbalimbali za vyakula nao hawajasalimika.
Yaani bidhaa zimepanda bei sana. Kila sehemu, vyakula, mafuta, na sio mafuta tu, hayo mafuta mnayosema diesel, mpaka mafuta ya kula.
Si mchele umepanda bei, viazi mviringo umepanda bei, ndizi zimepanda bei, yani kila kitu kimepanda bei. Hamna kitu ambacho kilichopungua ngao nafuu. Unaiona hii ndizi, sisi tunanunua ndizi moja 130 140. Hasa hapa sisi tunauza 100, maana tunarudisha hela ile ile.
Mamlaka ya udhibiti wa huduma za nishati na maji imesema ongezeko hilo limesababishwa na vita vinavyoendelea kati ya Urusi na Ukraine.
Mgogoro huu umepelekea kuwepo na uhaba wa upatikanaji mafuta duniani, na pia umepelekea gharama za mafuta kupanda.
Athari za ongezeko la bei ya mafuta zinaonekana kwenda mbali zaidi.
Na iwapo ilikupita, Somalia imekuwa nchi ya kwanza kuwa na chombo cha habari kinachomilikiwa kikamilifu na wanawake ambacho kimezinduliwa hivi karibuni. Hii imetoa fursa adimu kwa wanahabari wa kike nchini humo kutafiti na kuchapisha habari zinazochangia masuala kama vile dhulma za kijinsia na ujasiriamali. Na huko New York, ghorofa nyembamba zaidi duniani imekamilika, lakini bado unahitaji fedha nyingi iwapo ungependa kuishi humo. Chumba kimoja aina ya studio kinauzwa kwa dola milioni 7.75 na chumba cha juu kabisa yani penthouse litauzwa kwa dola milioni 66. Na hatimaye uwezekano wa kuishi milele umekaribia baada ya watafiti kurejesha seli za ngozi za wanawake wenye umri wa miaka 53. Mwisho wa mitikasi leo, makala kutoka BBC. Ni Selina Smoshigadi, panapo majaliwa hadi wakati mwingine.
Ili kupata Warumi 8 kama skiza tune kwenye simu yako, bonyeza *811 *815#.
Nina hakika kwamba hakuna kinachoweza kukutenga na upendo wa Mwenyezi Mungu. Si kifo, si malaika, si vitu tulivyokuwa navyo au tutakavyokuwa navyo, si mamlaka au chochote kitakachoumbwa. Warumi 8:38 hadi 39.
Kupata Warumi 8, bonyeza *811 *815#. *811 *815#.
The legendary run to Olympia Stadion in Berlin is now less crowded, with only 4 teams out of 64 still in contention. Something more outstanding is that all of the sides to have won the DFB Pokal over the last 29 years are already out this year.
And Leverkusen are knocked out by a Bundesliga 2 side.
In the first DFB Pokal semi-final, Hamburger SV will face Freiburg on Tuesday, the 19th of April 2022 at 9:45 p.m. While in the second semi-final, RB Leipzig will lock horns with Union Berlin on Wednesday, the 20th April 2022 at 9:45 p.m. Having braced the turbulent journey and buoyed up with the trophy in sight, no team want to go down without a fight. You don't want to miss this adventurous football show, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1. KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Huku mpaka uniambie mbona umekuja huku. Never ever ask me that question again, okay?
Please, no. You parked and left us. I mean, who does that? Your own kids.
I left you a rich dad.
Really?
Just pack up and leave. And you're? I am like your father, and you can learn a lot from me.
I haven't learned a lot from my own father.
Please leave my son's office before I call security on you.
There's one department I've not met. By all means, please do. Call them.
I just need your help speaking to my children.
Oh, the mighty Kathy can beg.
Please.
Well, thank you for joining us as we continue with the live coverage of the UDA nominations that is happening across the country. This is a business check, and later on we will be having a conversation on the Finance Bill 2022.